Dearly beloved, we've gathered here today to get to this thing called life. Electric word life that means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
Be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like you, but I gotta think twice before I give my heart away. And I know all the games you play, because I play them too, baby. Here we go again. So that summer's here and we're in effect. Want you to push it back, cooling by day and at night, working up a sweat. Let's go show the guys that we know how to become number one in the hot body show. Now push it. This one goes out to my love. This one goes out to the one I've left behind.
Hello. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I seem to run out of coffee.
You can be anything you want to be there.
You can see anything you want to see there.
There's excitement in the air for you and me there. Fancy free there. Take your family there. But you've got to be there.
Yeah.
You just got to be there. You'll feel free there. You'll be what you want to be. See what you want to see. 7 holes the key there. Be there. Got to be there. Just you and me there.
You just got to
Be there.
be there. Be there. The time is now. Be there.
You've got to be there.
Yeah.
You just got to be there. You'll feel free there. Be what you want to be. See what you want to see. There'll be you and me there. Be there.
Hello, customers. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Pack up and piss off.
I can't stand this place a moment longer. Trapped behind these iron bars. Kept inside these 4 solid concrete walls. I can't bear it. I can't. Oh,
Right, Jean, put a sock in it, will you? You'll get us all into trouble.
Jane's right, Jean.
sorry, Jane.
What's going on here? Nothing, Miss Nasty Water.
Well, if there is, you'll be taken out of this cushy laundry job and made to work in a completely different part of the building.
Where?
Well, there's your cell, or that bit of corridor between your cell and the laundry room.
You bitch. Just because you're not getting it at home.
Don't speak to me like that.
Miss Nice Water.
Hello, girls. I brought you all some fizzy pop and cake. What's wrong, Kit? Miss Water hit her.
Listen, never forget these girls are human beings. They're just trying to keep hold of their dignity and rebuild their lives. So don't hate them.
Snake! That's your fault I got hit.
Why don't you just leave us alone?
Don't hit her, Water. Told you you'd get us into trouble.
You bloody rippers! Good evening. Let us know you can hear our voices as soon as you hear them, just so we check that it's all working. Over on YouTube, good morning, good evenings to Ian Allardyce, Ellen Meadows, Joanne Thomas, Joanne Gray, Thomas from Blistern, Coral, Alex, Chronicles of Stan, Michael, Emma Jane, Pauline, Darren, Irish Raw, Andrew Gunn, Karen, Nick, Alex, Aljax, Emma Jane, that's everyone, Karina, Pauline, Terry, Diamond Trinket. Good evening.
And on this side we have James Sue Neal, John Cook, James, Kate Riding, Deeks is in the house, Nicola and Bray, hello, Mark Allen, Martin Garden Spence, Jason Rigby, Cole Taylor, Charlie Mitchell, Lisa Driscoll popping in, then popping out, and is everybody in?
Rachel,
Caroline,
Neil, Andrew.
The lovely in-laws are in, David and Anne.
David, my mum and dad are here. They're not going to know anything that we're talking about.
But they know us too.
Yeah, I think people can hear our voices, otherwise you would have said...
And Rachel.
Yeah, people can hear us.
And Rachel didn't say hello to her mum, Sue Neal.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight we're talking Aussie telly, which is something we're so kind of passionate about. And I know loads of you are. This is just going to be like the tip of the iceberg.
We're going to be like looking at 1 grain of sugar in a whole 2 kilogram bag of Aussie TV dramas.
Yeah, I reckon we can do a whole series of like Aussie telly.
I think we could possibly do a whole week.
Yeah, there's loads of Aussie stuff that we adore, all the way from Aussie comedy to Aussie soap to Aussie drama to Aussie reality TV. We kind of soak it all in. What you just saw then was a clip from the Josie Lawrence show from, I guess that was maybe the late 80s, 90s?
80s,
90s. And she did a spoof to Cell Block 8. She did a spoof to Neighbours and Skippy and also and Kylie. It was all in there. But yeah, I chose that little clip there for a little bit of Cell Block 8.
I love the fact whenever there's a spoof of Cell Block 8, there's always like a nod to the bad scenery.
Yeah. I don't know if the walls were that wobbly, were they? I guess they were.
I think they were. I think when there was a couple of fights, and people were pushed up against walls, there was a little give. and sometimes the bricks didn't match.
Yeah. Where it was like brick wallpaper in a corner. Let's go, Brandon. Hi. I had to check that's not like someone doing a Bart Simpson on me and trying to get me to say a rude word. Sherry in Niagara in Ontario. Gosh, lots of people there. Caroline and Elliot are in.
Sally Lockwood's joined us. She's hello there.
In the Josie Lawrence spoof, there was a guy with a moustache. I'm informed here by Cole Taylor that he was actually in Prison Cell Block H. I don't remember what he played. Let us know.
I know you. I don't think you've got the Hale and Pace spoof, or have you tonight?
No.
But there's a Hale and Pace spoof prisoner, and they're all played by men. All the women are played by men, and they've all got moustaches.
They were all quite butch, though. I think that's why we loved it, isn't it?
Big boobs. David Sue Neal said she loves Australia. She spent 6 weeks there, backpacking in 2008 with 2 of her buddies. That doesn't surprise me because David Sue Neal's a marvellous adventurer, aren't you?
Yeah, who's been to Australia or who's calling from Australia? I've been to Perth for work, but I stayed on and I got there earlier so I could explore a little bit. But I like Perth. That's all I really saw, Perth and Fremantle. I know Caroline spent a big family holiday in Australia.
And I know some of the chaps who joined us tonight must probably met some of the stars. I recall seeing some of you with photos of you and some stars of Prisoner. I think I remember. Let's have a look what messages I've got coming in on over here on YouTube. Comments are coming in thick and fast. The walls were fine. Andrew Gunn says. Running Fresh says hello, Honky Tonks. Hello, Honky Tonks. How are you? Erica Davidson was everything, says Irish Raw. Darren Williams saw the musical with Lily Savage. I also saw the musical. Did you? No, but I've seen clips of it on TV. I even went to see the stage play, which was kind of borderline serious, with Erica and Meg and Rita Connors, who I didn't know who she was at that point because she'd not been on telly in the UK. Because we were quite behind the storylines then, weren't we? Yeah. Zoe Roberts-Lee has joined us. It's meant to be her little boy's story time, but she's eyeballing us. Irish Raw went to visit Ramsey Street. Mark Allen says that Kirsty Adams, who played Weeping Willie, and Officer Yates, was at his wedding was his wedding celebrant in 2019. Oh wow, Mark, that's wonderful. She was married to someone from Cell Block H, wasn't she? Yeah. I can't remember who. I don't know. Was she married to Inspector Grace? Oh, was it the guy who was who took over as governor? He had sort of a rugged face. Bob Moran. I don't know. I can't remember his name. He was sort of quite craggy faced. He was quite nice, I think. I don't remember him being nasty. Cole says it's Andrew Fry. He played the guy from. Oh no, this is the guy who was in the Josie Lawrence sketch. He was the man from the department. Took over after Harold from Neighbours. Bob Moran, Mark says. Peter Adams, the actor. Bob Moran. Yes, you were correct, weren't you? Did you say Bob Moran? I said Moran. Did I say Bob Moran? God, there's so much rubbish trivia in here. So we have in the room Erica Davidson's niece. Now I'm not talking about. I think Erica Davidson's niece was a character in the show, and she was a bit posh, and she said, "Auntie Erica." She was a drug dealer or something, but she got imprisoned. Yeah. However, we have Erica Davidson's actual niece. Step-niece. Yeah. Karina is in. So hi, Karina. There's a lot of love for your auntie here. In fact, let me see if I've got. Here's a little clip for Karina. This is especially for. I'm like a DJ, especially for Karina, but for all you Erica fans. Erica Davidson changed the way I said a certain word forever.
Mrs. Davidson sent a memo to all staff.
Well, now, I think we've attended to all the demands on your memo. I'd like you to type this memo and distribute it to the staff before the meeting this afternoon.
I have a memo here from the department about Paddy Lawson.
And, Wendy, I'd like you to type a confidential memo. Oh, and Wendy, the memo...
You're the screws, I bet we'll send a memo.
Well, I think I'll have to put a memo out to this effect. I am not Mrs. Davidson. I can't find anything in these departmental memos to smile about. No, I'll be circulating an official memo.
Mimo.
I always say Mimo now if I'm at work. Can you pop that on a Mimo for me?
And also, if you keep hearing Mimo over and over again, it sort of starts losing its sort of meaning, doesn't it?
Loses its power. The power of Mimo.
It just sounds like a sort of little children's TV character.
Yeah.
The planet of Mimo.
We have a lot of love for the calendar. I'm glad that the Isolation Creations 2022 calendar is
flying off the shelves. It's being sent all over the world. I can't believe how many countries it's gone to this week via airmail.
Still available, £12.99. And you can get it from our website, so that's the isolationcreations.com. And of course, if you enjoy what we do, then you can...
Oh, there it is.
You can pop a tip in our tip jar. So the tip's up there. And yeah, if you want to buy us a drink, imagine you're at the pub with us and we're entertaining you so much that you want to go and get us a round of drinks in.
Or a still orange.
You can do it up there.
Or a bag of nuts.
That's where you do that.
Oh, hello, what's that? What's that?
Let me know if how the volumes are. Are we sounding all right and are the clips loud enough? Because I'm worried about the volumes. I'm looking at like graphic equalizers as we talk to you.
And while we're doing little shout outs, I'd like to say a big thank you to Neil, who sent us this wonderful present through the post today. And I think you can see it's the book on the roly-polies, Fit, Fat and Fruity, which is my my pledge in life. So Neil, a big thank you for that. I've started reading it. It's a wonderful read. And it's actually full of stories, exercises and fitness, would you believe, and some great recipes. So Neil, thank you for that, my darling.
Thank you. We'll be doing a Black Friday deal on the calendar. The shopping channel gals might pop up for the Black Friday deal, but their prices are outrageous. It'll probably be more expensive than it would to be buying it.
And
now.
I've heard they've got some great gifts and goods lined up.
I hope you enjoyed our little shopping channel video. We loved making it.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We sort of did it off the cuff, really. That one, we sort of just threw ourselves into it. We didn't really sort of plan it, did we? It just sort of happened.
Yeah. We wanted to advertise the calendar. Really, it was a roundabout way of doing that, and we thought rather than just make a little advert, let's do something more exciting
with a few more funny little goods for sale.
Right. So Aussie soaps.
Let us know what your favourite is.
Yeah, I want to know what character from any Australian TV are you most like and why?
If somebody said to you, we're going to the greatest Aussie TV fancy dress party, what would be the character you'd dress up as? Or have you already dressed as that person? So let us know anything like that with your favourite characters, who you would like to embody.
Let us hand over to our Gigglebox families and let's hear what they think about Aussie TV. And that's what I'm getting for Christmas.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, hopefully.
It's a funny looking rabbit, isn't it?
Anyway, the camera crew are here again. So let's talk about Australian television.
Australian telly?
Telly from down under. So now, of course, I remember in the 1980s when daytime television really began. And of course, that is when we were introduced, really, to Australian television. Oh, now, I do like, it's my one little pleasure while I'm here, after I've polished my cloisters, I often will settle down and watch Neighbours of an evening. I tell you what I miss on the television nowadays, and I used to love tuning into it, and it'll surprise you, because it's not really my cup of tea, you wouldn't think. Okay. Prisoner Cell Block H.
Oh, I love that programme.
Oh, I do miss it. I mean, the one programme that springs to mind if I'm talking about, like, Australian telly is, it's on BBC, and it's like, I'd love to do it, it's like these families, and they go and look at houses in Australia. What springs to mind for me is Australian comedy. And then look at jobs in Australia. So there's one programme about a mum and a daughter, Kath and Kim.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, isn't it funny?
Somebody said that, look, they like the mum. Neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours.
So I remember getting home from school like about 3:30.
Yeah.
And there used to always be an Australian soap opera on. The Sullivans. And then they look at their shopping list in Australia. A Country Practice.
That's right.
But I did like that programme. I thought it was gutsy,
Yeah.
it was real, it was funny at times, and it was heartbreaking.
With some understanding. Neighbours.
Sons and Daughters.
It used to be on Monday nights, didn't it?
Oh, did it? Well, no, I'm from a different region, you see.
Oh,
Down
yeah.
where I'm from, it used to be on a Thursday and a Sunday. The Young Doctors.
Yes.
And they flip a little flag and decide if they're going to live there.
What, in Australia? You'll get the perfect plan. It used to clash with his snooker. So I used to sort of crumble up a little sleeping pill in his cocoa. Give it half an hour, he'll be up to bed just in time for me to do the prisoner.
Now, do you remember on ITV there was a programme and it was meant to be a bit like Neighbours, you know, but it was half of it was a family here in England and half of it was a family in Australia.
What a shit show that was, wasn't it?
And of course, Neighbours and Home and Away. I used to have to sneak up and turn my 9-inch on.
Oh, did you? Did you not want to watch telly then?
It's called Families.
I know, I remember it. The show does, in England, all like cloudy and all on bare bones of our arse. Well, they lived it up over in the sunny Australia. What used to really piss me off is I get into a good storyline, you know, like the Wentworth Fire.
A wonderful, wonderful set of episodes. Poor Mouse.
Oh, poor little mousey.
It's Wanted Down Under. Would you like to do that with me?
And at the end of the episode, the pissing voiceover fella from the telly say, "And we'll return back to Prisoner in the autumn." Neighbours, everybody needs good neighbours.
Oh, it used to stop for months on end, didn't it?
I was just string mouse slippers that telly. Oh, my uncle's Wanted Down Under.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Did he meet Nicky Chapman?
No, he was a flasher.
And they didn't replace it with anything wonderful, did they? It was just more Michaela Strachan dancing with Pete Waterman.
Hit that man in her.
Oh, nonsense.
What's this shit? That's when good neighbours need good friends.
There we are, intellectual insights from the...
I think we've made a few people remember Families there. I think that was long forgotten.
Yeah, Families. Families was rubbish, wasn't it? We're playing around with the levels, trying to get it right for you, because the microphone's kind of not right here. Maybe we need to just be a bit louder as we talk to you, but that might set Peggy off.
Martin Gunn Spencer's, he'd like to be Joyce Jacobs, who plays Esme Watson in Country Practice. Yeah. My brother said it would be he'd be the headmaster from Home and Away, Donald Fisher, I think was the headmaster. Another Country Practice, Esme over here, Vinegar Tits. Cole Taylor says he'd like to be Colleen Powell from Prisoner, Po-Face. Cole, would that be in uniform or in her, general attire?
What was Colleen Powell's attire? It was mainly biscuit colours, wasn't it?
I think it was
pastry colours.
Yeah, I remember sort of the odd little pussy bow blouse.
Now, Colleen Powell, did her family blow up? Or did Jim Fletcher's family blow up? Or did every officer's family blow up?
I think a lot of people blow up, didn't they?
I think so. Lucy Braithwaite said she would dress as Mrs. Mangle from Neighbours, and that would be in some kind of burgundy dressing gown.
Yeah, I remember, because I thought she was going to say, like, the blue dress and long pearls. But I remember whenever she was upset, she was in a...
I think it was quite high-necked.
Yeah, with a button here. And touched the floor.
Pat the Rat from Sons and Daughters. Sorry, I've got a sneeze coming, that's why I keep doing this. I'm not on some sort of drugs. Al Jax Johnson remembers all the theme tunes. Yeah, the theme tunes of Aussie soaps were so kind of nostalgic, weren't they? They are so nostalgic nowadays.
And wasn't it great when suddenly Neighbours was repeated in the afternoon as well? It was on.
Neighbours was on like three times a day, I think.
Yeah, because it'd be on at like 1 o'clock, and then something like 20 past 5, and then the
it
following
was
morning.
Yeah, like 9:20 or something.
Yeah, so you could actually see it 3 times if you wanted to.
It was a very good episode.
I think actually my dad and my mum We might watch the Charlene wedding.
Three times?
Yeah.
Thrice.
We might record it. My dad tried to record the song? The
Angry Anderson Suddenly.
Yeah. And I think he put his little tape player near the speaker of the telly, because we couldn't get the song until they released it.
I think it was released the same week, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Unless he was just cheap.
Cole Taylor informs us. Cole Taylor is our brains here. Both Colleen and Jim's family died in an explosion, so it was always worth never becoming deputy governor of Wentworth Detention Centre.
I think somebody's asked us do we have any Aussie TV on DVD. We had a hooky set of Prisoners DVDs once, didn't we? But
which we bought off eBay. When you could buy the whole thing
about 20 years ago, and I don't think they work now.
Don't think so. We did have some. We bought like a box set of Prisoner like way ages ago, like 1998 or something. But it was like three DVDs of like the best episodes.
Yeah, so it show you a few of the beginning ones, a few of the middle ones, and then some of the classics.
Talking about Scott and Charlene's wedding, Andrew Gunn still has Scott and Charlene's wedding on VHS.
Oh yeah. Scott
and Charlene's wedding is something we're planning on recreating. We just need to get peach bridesmaids dresses so we can be Plain Jane Superbrain and the sort of chunkier Lucy.
Yeah, the one with the sort of big brown curly hair.
Yeah, the one who I think she had a brain injury at some point.
How many Lucys were there? Was it just 2?
I think there were 3 Lucys. Kylie Flinker, Sasha Close and Melissa Bell. I might be wrong with the middle name.
Yeah.
It was one of my little trivia questions ages ago. I knew the 3 Lucys.
Alex Clark says his school was so worried about kids missing school to watch the Charlene wedding that they actually showed it at the school.
Oh wow! On a little TV.
Yeah.
Not the big TV, which
that they
gets
put with the
wheeled
black
in.
wings that used to open out.
I'm still trying to keep up with these. Problem. Oh, so Mad Aberfan says the problem with Cell Block H was the ITV regional setup. You would go away for a week or two, and where you went to visit, like if you went to visit your auntie, my auntie lived in Birmingham. So if I went to visit Birmingham from Granada, suddenly I was at least 3 years ahead, looking at people that I didn't know, and then go back and suddenly I'd know what was coming up.
And I think we've mentioned it before, when I bought the single for the theme tune, he used to give me roses.
Oh yeah, the picture on the back.
The cast were on it, the whole cast.
Didn't have Mrs. Davidson.
No, so where's Mrs. Davidson? And who's that with the grey hair? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with them? Where's everybody? And B. Smith had a haircut. And it all came clear in the coming months.
My little best friend from school, Caroline, she says she would go to a fancy dress party, and she would, as the Alessi twins, and she would make herself a second head out of papier-mâché.
Oh, I thought she'd just say, I'm just going to the toilet, and then she'd go off and back over the other one.
Me and Caroline were slightly obsessed with the Alessis. We still are in a little way. And they had no sort of little cupid in their lips, so they had sort of a flat top lip, like their bottom lip. And I think they became the Play Your Cards Right girls.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Where, in
Gail
Australia?
and Gillian. No, here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they moved over here.
Were they in Take Your Pick?
Yeah, they might have been.
With Des O'Connor?
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Is it open the box, on the box?
Charlie Mitchell, Yorkshire to Granada was always ahead.
Yorkshire were the ones that it would end on a Monday night and not be back till autumn.
Yeah, Alan's from Hull, so he knows Yorkshire telly.
And he used to be on at like 11 at night till midnight, and then it'd say, "We'll be back in the autumn." You go, no.
We're reliably informed that the Alessis, as well as being all mixed up, that's the name of their hit single, they were the Take Your Pick girls. Cole Taylor went to Blackpool in 1993, and they were miles ahead with Prisoner. It was always funny, wasn't it? What got you into Prisoner? So for me, I got into Prisoner when I was maybe in like 2nd or 3rd year senior school. I don't know what that would be now. And I was watching a film on BBC Two, and it had a really sad ending. So it had like a really shocking sad ending, and the main like character died. And I was really like gutted and heartbroken, and I thought, oh, I've got to watch something else. So I twiddled the little on my telly and went to ITV, and there was this soap opera on. And I was literally hooked from then. It was these 80s kind of Aussie actresses. Neighbours was sort of on the start, the brink of being popular, so I was already interested in Aussie stuff. Yeah, and that's how I got into Prisoner. What about you?
Well, my late mum had a friend who lived down the street, and she said, "Oh, you should watch this drama that's on ITV called Prisoner of Age, and there's a woman in it who looks like you."
What, to your mum?
Yeah. And at the time, my mum did look a little bit like Val Lehman. She had this sort of same build and the same sort of colour hair. And we thought, yeah. So my mum started watching it, and then obviously we started watching it. And then it was at that sort of like, you know, that time of night when it was like, oh, we should really be in bed, really. But my mum was cool. She used to sort of let us watch it. And, every Monday we'd look forward to it until they said, like in the autumn.
Alan's from a more kind of working class background than me, as we've kind of alluded to in our giggle boxes. So you'd all sit around the telly, wouldn't you?
Oh,
telly
yeah.
was like a family thing. Everyone would gather around. Whereas we got portable tellies, so we'd all go off separately in early evening and kind of watch our own programmes.
So your folks wouldn't watch Cell Block H then? No.
No, my mum and dad would never watch Cell Block H. Not their cup of tea.
Not their cup
at
of
all.
tea.
Although they watched Paul Hogan. They loved Paul Hogan. I remember we kind of would watch Paul Hogan. He was sort of like early 80s, wasn't he?
I mean,
Paul Hogan show.
We were quite lucky, really, because we could have a smattering of Australian TV throughout the whole day, wouldn't we? So we'd have all the stuff in the afternoon, like if it was half term, or you'd run home from school, you'd catch, the last bits of Sons and Daughters, and then there was a sort of little Neighbours bit about 5 o'clock.
And then because I used to go home for lunch, like I've said before, so at lunchtime we'd have the Sullivans, I think would be on.
Oh yeah, my mum used to like the Sullivans.
And when like the cap got sort of pulled and
street.
they ran off, that was kind of my sign I needed to start going back to school.
Yeah.
Although no, I'd watch Pebble Mill. Am I kidding?
And then of course in the afternoon there would have been a bit of Young Doctors, Richmond Hill. What else was there in the afternoon?
Cindy McDuffie's just made
Country
me laugh.
Practice.
Cindy McDuffie, when she was a child, late 80s, she got gifted a rusty red bike and it had a Harold Bishop sticker stuck to the crossbar. And she just stayed with it. She would like to know whatever became of Harold.
Mark Allen says he got banned from watching Prisoner because he was only 8 or 9 for calling his brother Vinegar Tits.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a working class background. I'm not saying that at all.
What have you been told off?
James Brett saying nothing wrong with the working class. But I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying we're from very different kind of family backgrounds. Because I had kind of middle class, quite a big house, and Alan was in. You was a smaller house shared with your
Council house. Cole Taylor said it was great when they repeated Prisoner on Channel 5 because it used to be in the morning, wasn't it? And they used to do 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah, I think so. We used to video it, didn't it? That was when we were together.
But 2 episodes of Prison every morning. Wow. And we used to sometimes sometimes we'd get home from work and then we'd like start playing the tape and there's like if some stupid American sport had been overrun, Prison used to be cancelled.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah. And because if you set your video as well, then you wouldn't get it, would you?
And if some kind of daft American football programme ran over 10 minutes more,
get that instead
they
of
wouldn't put
Cell
Cell
Block.
Block H on, they'd put something weird on. Like Shopping Channel. Hello,
Let's have a-
darlings.
Let's have a look. What have we got? Some clips to show you. Not only Prisoner, but if we're talking like just getting home from school, who remembers this one?
Barley sugarator?
Rich and energising glucose. Just for Dr. Steele, I presume. Very difficult cutting sandwiches with all these interruptions. 20, thank you. And I would like to ask you, Sister Mrs. Why you were writing my name in your notebook?
Writing your name? Oh, I think you must have been mistaken, Ada.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, Ada. I loved Ada. She was the reason I watched Young Doctors. In a little kiosk. A little kiosk with a little tabard. A little coffee machine.
Oh, I don't really remember Young Doctors. I remember the theme tune. I remember the doors.
The energy of that theme tune.
I remember Jim Robinson being in it with a bit of an afro.
And I remember some of the girls dancing in the
in
credits.
disco.
In Bunny's Bar.
In Bunny's Bar.
We've got a new friend who's joined the sort of Isolation Creations gang. Darren Gray from Australia. He used to be the agent to the producer, who was called Alan Coleman. He used to be his agent, and Alan Coleman was the producer of Young Doctors for most of the run.
Yes.
So he's on board with us, and he's sort of said in future if we want to do a special edition of Young Doctors, is sort of get some of the actors on board.
Yeah, get some of the actors to come and chat with us.
Come and chat with
live.
us. So he's into helping us do that. And also, he was a big fan of Gwen Plum, who played Ada. And he tells us some great stories of her. She used to make a lovely sort of egg curry, I think she made, or curried egg sandwiches or something.
Stripey Cat wanted to go to Bunny's nightclub. Bunny's nightclub always looked little to me. It always looked a bit small, and like if you couldn't really let loose on that dance floor.
Yeah.
I think it was Cole Taylor said that Alan's Beryl and I'm Pat. That's kind of, if you want to know our storylines.
Oh yeah.
Beryl Palmer and I'm Pat the Rat.
And I think Anthony said we're both commoners, Mark. Anyway.
Alex Clark has reminded us of something that happened, and it happened in quite a few shows where they would change the actors, but he said the weirdest one was when they changed Pippa in Home and Away, because they just looked nothing like each other, and I think they just changed it overnight, wasn't it? Yeah,
I think she was at the sink washing dishes, and then she turned around and she just changed.
To change to a completely new actress who looked nothing like Pippa.
Yeah.
Alex is Alex from Twitter, and he said it took ages to work out that actually that was Pippa. It wasn't just a new character that had come in.
Timmy Alex S. Carrington Ward, I love that name, says don't forget about the Cedra Tree. A midday Aussie soap.
Here she is.
Oh, here she is. Oh, here she, that's.
I don't remember
love
the Cedar
name.
Tree.
I don't remember the Cedar Tree either. What channel was that on?
Do you remember in Cell Block H when they changed an actress, and they changed it from quite a short dark-haired actress to quite a tall Amazonian actress with bleached blonde hair, and to change it they just had the actress with a towel over her head, and she sort of went like that, and her hair was a different colour. Entirely new actress.
What a good way of changing the character though. And if some of you remember the little clip we just showed with Ada and the nurse, the actress played Queenie, I think. Was it Queenie in Prisoner?
Faye Quinn.
Faye Quinn, sorry.
Faye Quinn.
Faye Quinn.
Who was always
gambling. And I think that it was played by the actress Anne Lucas, who I think used to write.
Yeah, you said she wrote Cell Block H.
She used to write some episodes for Cell Block H.
Let's have a look at what else. I've got some comments coming through. Someone here, Simon Jones, says he thinks Cedar Tree was English. Was it like about ghosts and haunted stuff? And I think it had a really camp, quite bad young actor in it. And I think one of our friends cast it.
Oh, really?
Phil.
Oh, so it's quite recent then?
Yeah, if it's what I'm thinking about. Was it about ghosts? Or am I thinking about something entirely different?
Oh, you're thinking of that thing with Aveline in it from Bread, are you?
It was like a bit like a soap.
Yeah.
Oh, I might be thinking of that.
No, yeah, I remember
That's
that.
not called the Cedar Tree.
A guy from our drama school got a part in it, and we watched it, I think.
Or it did have a very camp young boy in it. Let's have a look at what we've got coming in. Plain Jane Superbrain is currently in Neighbours, as well as Clive Gibbons, for those who remember. Melanie, who had the crazy laugh, and Paul Robinson is still in it.
Yeah.
Carl Kennedy, Susan Kennedy, and Toadfish. Lucy Robinson had more facelifts than Carol Vorderman. Aljax says.
Yep.
There's a link. Jason Rigby's popped a link in there.
Oh, Sedentary was 1970s.
1970s ATV. Here she is. There's a link to, I think, a DVD of the Cedar Tree. Mad Aberfan remembers that they changed the Cheryl Stark for a few episodes. I think they changed it to the actress who played Doreen, didn't they?
Oh.
From Helen Smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, you see, it's all trivia goes.
One of the Australian sitcoms that I regret not seeing was Number 93, which I don't think was ever showed in England.
Is it number 96?
Is it number 96? You were in 73, weren't you?
I was in number 73.
That's what I've been
Number
thinking
96.
Of.
Oh, black and white featured.
Started black and white.
Fiona Thompson from Sons and Daughters.
Yes, it's all very Parisian, isn't it?
Oh, yes, that dirty big truck up the street rather spoils the effect, though, doesn't it, eh?
Sydney City Limited Corporation. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
No matter, I go for the raisin toast. Thank heaven for little girl.
Oh, Simon says bonjour. Nice past story.
Always like Chris Bond.
Ma chère Doreen, do you mind if I spoke?
Ah, ma chère Florence, I do not mind. It is very fine.
Jason Rigby's just said the teeth.
I love Pat McDonald. I would have loved to have seen her in that, more of that.
Yeah, Pat McDonald is the actress there that had the teeth, the one that stood up while she was getting sprayed, and she played Fiona in Sons and Daughters, who's kind of your archetype tart with a heart, isn't
But
she?
never seemed to appear in Stomach H.
No, I don't think she was. She would be busy doing Number 96, I guess, and maybe was too kind of
Perhaps
well known.
Yeah, perhaps she was too big for that.
What I loved in Sons and Daughters was how they always jetted off places. They just sort of get the plane to Mumbai. They had like a horse farm and
just got a dash to Sydney.
And Fiona lived in some like really cacky little flat, didn't she? With
Velma and Phil
slappers upstairs, and then suddenly she owned like a horse farm, and then that turned into like some executive retreat. It was a bit like Lassiter's. Do you remember when Lassiter's was just like a real sort of shithole next to a pond, and then suddenly it became this huge like complex that Paul Robinson ran in Neighbours.
I also love the fact that all the scenes with Fiona Thompson in a little flat, she used to flap around in these caftans, and then she went through a sort of Jason Rigby, if you really, he'll know what I'm on about. She went through the sort of the Ramberg industry phase, where she sort of became like a member of the board, and was talking all business, had little files on and under her arm. And then she went to Mumbai and went back to the flappy caftans.
Oh yeah, when she went into business. And did she also used to wear a nice little velour jumpsuit or tracksuit?
Oh yeah,
I think, at times.
She was quite, big in the active wear, wasn't she?
So we've had a message. Pat McDonald wasn't in Prisoner because her partner, Bunny, and I don't know was she lesbian. So her partner didn't get on with Sheila Florence, so that's why apparently she didn't get in.
But she was with her partner for years and years and years, wasn't she?
I don't know. I'm not sure about Pat McDonald.
I think so. Nice little love story.
Timmy Alexis Carrington Ward says, what about in Neighbours? Ended for a bit at the start, then changed TV companies, and it started again with Helen Daniels redecorating her front room to show that the series had moved on. I didn't realise they did that, and that's when the new Scott Robinson was introduced.
I remember the Scott Robinson changing from sort of like a sort of handsome
sort of
lad
dark
with
sort
dark
of broody
hair
guy
to this sort of like surfer dude.
Yeah. Do you remember when Helen used to paint and she'd just get a little bit of paint on her cheek and she'd wear a big shirt?
Yeah, big shirt with a big massive cuff, and the collar was always up.
Caroline will remember that's the look I then went for when I did my art classes at GCSE. I tried to model myself on Helen Daniels. I didn't go to the bungles often like she did. My favourite character in Sons and Daughters, and I know one of Alan's favourite characters, was Charlie Bartlett. And I know a few people have mentioned Charlie Bartlett. I want to show you a clip from Charlie Bartlett where she says a record number of darlings in one episode. So in one kind of 25-minute episode, clock a load of this.
You're worrying over nothing, darling. Of course you are, darling. Oh, nonsense, darling. Well, bring him along too, darling. Didn't think I had a head for business, did you, darling? Wait till you see Lisa's designs, darling. They're too exquisite for words. Oh, look, lovely, darling. Whatever do you mean, darling? But, darling, I'll just show Lisa around, darling. It was rather naughty of you, darling. Sorry, darling. Bye. Darling. Bye, darlings. Bye. What on earth are you doing here?
I got slapped to end the darlings off.
That's Charlie. That's a video created by Mark Allen.
Oh, is it your video,
Mark? You will not believe how much joy that video has brought us over many years.
We watch that at least once a week.
The crowning glory is Bitch Slap.
Yeah, we loved it. It was the Bitch Slap as well. But do you think that they actually put the word darling in her script.
Do you think it was scripted, or did she just add them and pepper
For
them
her
in?
own.
Mark, it's made my day that that's your
I'm so
video.
glad it was your video.
I like the fact that guys, Terry has got just 2 plasters
and
over
they've
his
been
eyes.
crumbled down some sort of steps.
Cole Taylor says there is an episode where she does a record 16 times. Sue says she sounds a little bit like Fenella Fielding, darling.
Yes,
she is very Fenella Fielding, Sue.
And Darcy Darling has just arrived, darling.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Let us have a look at... so someone's mentioned about Neighbours. We've had a little chat about Neighbours and about Neighbours changing. For me, so everyone talks about Scott and Charlene's wedding being like a defining moment of Neighbours. However, most people forget about this classic.
Bet you wish it was him and Rosie getting married.
Do you really think things are that serious between them?
All he does these days is sit around and dream about her.
Dogs don't dream, Dave. The bouncer did, I reckon he'd dream about a big, nice, juicy T-bone.
It's like when Neighbours jumped the shark.
When it was, is it equivalent of when Meg had a gold face? When guilty.
Yeah, when Joan Ferguson had an acid trip. Bouncer's Dream. What a classic that was. That is up there for me with other moments being when Ailsa went a bit mad in Home and Away and Bobby appeared from the fridge, a bit like Han Solo, trapped in carbonite and sort of stretched out the fridge, the dead ghost of Bobby. And of course it had Mark Little there, lovely guy, lovely comedian who presented The Big Breakfast for quite some time with Gabby Ruslin.
Did we see him in a play? Vegemite Tales?
I think we might have done.
We've
definitely seen him in something.
Yeah, very funny man.
Paul Flaherty says, any chance we could get to interview Rowena Wallace from Sons and Daughters? God, how we'd love to do that. I don't know if we could. People in here will know more about kind of her state of mind.
I think a lot of the actors are not doing all that great, to be honest, money-wise. I think I've heard that Rowena's, not the richest of folk, and we were talking a couple of weeks ago about how Beryl was trying to get rights for the reproduction of the DVDs without any luck.
Jason says a guy is trying to organise an interview with Rowena. Not us interviewing Rowena, but fingers crossed it'll happen. It'd be really interesting to hear it. Kind of Rowena unplugged, where online, so she doesn't have to kind of toe the company line.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Some more little things coming.
A lot of you mentioned the country practice, which of course we must mention. That was a sort of mid-afternoon little lull where you just sort of snuggle up and see. But what we keep mentioning is that we apparently had the sort of soft side of a country practice.
Yeah, we've got that coming up in Gigglebox. I don't remember country practice much, apart from the one episode that I do remember vividly is when Molly Malone died, and it's kind of a famous episode in Australia anyway. It's like a heartbreaking moment of telly, and I just happened to catch it. I don't know, I was ill I had a sort of skin disease and I was off school for about a month, I think, and I went a bit delirious at times and I got a bit addicted to Laverne and Shirley, but I had like hallucinations and stuff. And I think that's when I saw Molly Malone die in that, not like she was a hallucination, but I just remember it sticking with me because it was in that weird time of my life.
I think I used to sort of catch it when it was like summer holidays or half term. You sort of sit with your mum and watch those mid-afternoon Aussie dramas. And I just remember them all having fun out in the middle of nowhere in this little village. And I loved Lorraine Desmond in it because she was so glamorous.
Oh, yeah, glam.
She was such
she
a
was the queen of the soap. But we were talking about queens of soaps before. She was the queen, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was a wonderful looking.
Here she is, said, remember in Neighbours when Helen Daniels and Madge Bishop had a pancake off, like they had a pancake face off, but Madge lost because she just got Harold back and she'd been to bed with him, so she was all flustered. Harold was such a sort of dork when he came in it, wasn't he?
A vegetarian as well, wasn't he? I remember him never eating sausages or
Yeah, but he was really like dorky, and he had a weird. Do you remember he had like a comedy son who came in and sort of was like a comedy Harold, like
and
a
did he
mini
work
Harold.
for the Salvation Army or something as well?
Yeah, I think
Was
he
like
was. Yeah, I can't remember. And then I remember things I remember about Neighbours. I remember him making sandwiches with alfalfa in it. Didn't know what that was, but I remember them sort of cramming it in a sandwich. And I remember those weird little plastic gloves that Harold used to put on when he ran Daphne's coffee shop. I was never happy with them. My brother has said, do you remember when the three of us brothers, so that's me and my two older brothers, as teenagers used to watch Neighbours and discuss which characters we fancied? Remember how ridiculous conversations got? I don't.
So who did you fancy of it?
Well, I was just into like the I really liked their shorts. I remember because they used to wear little short shorts, didn't they? So I just remember liking short shorts.
And did you like the scene where they were always around the pool?
It'd be like the older guys I liked.
Did you know?
Like Max Ramsey.
Max Ramsey? His curly hair? And his
Most
overalls?
probably.
Oh, he had an exotic wife, didn't he, called Maria?
I think so. But it was a little bit of like hairy chest in a vest and like short shorts. Joe Mangle I quite fancied.
I remember we had some weird Sky cable package, and you could flick through like foreign channels, and we came across like German neighbours.
Yeah, what was it called?
Nachbod or something. Nachbod. And I remember the voice of Madge was, "Hello, wundergarten."
They gave her like a sexy German accent.
Strasse.
Because Madge had such a sort of like gruff accent, didn't she?
Yeah.
There is people's memories of the Christmas dream and Neighbours coming up. We've got so much to talk about. Let's hand back to the Giggle Boxers, and then we'll be back after that. Okay guys, here's a little quiz for you. Can you guess what country I'm pretending to come from? Good day guys, it's me, Sheila. Pop a little shrimp on your Barbie. Can you guess?
Yeah.
Where am I from?
Definitely guess that.
Yeah? And your answer?
Canada.
So we're here to talk about like Australian telly. Do you watch any Australian telly?
Yeah, with my mum. I watched one about. It's like a leisure centre, and it's full of these like women who wear like blue hoodies.
Who was your favourite character in Prisoner of Cage?
Ashley B. Smith.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Queen Bee.
When they got rid of her, it went downhill. One of my favourite programmes was The Young Flying Doctors. Do you remember it? So 1 minute they're talking around this little table, this old woman, and having coffee and a sandwich. And next minute they're flying in the air in an aeroplane.
And of course, Neighbours and Home and Away, which really took over.
They're still going now, aren't they?
Still going today. Both on Channel 5 though.
Yes, Channel 5 seem to like the oddie soaps, don't they?
And then there was another one that I used to like watching, but I don't watch it too much now. Home and
we
Away.
belong together. Australian soap operas, yes. And do a lot of fighting, a lot of running around, there's a lot of bleeping, and they live in little rooms. Flying in the air in an aeroplane, helping people out in the outbacks. Ever and ever, you find way.
With Shane Ramsey from Neighbours.
Yes.
A leisure centre?
Yeah. Cell block H is perhaps one of the most common ones. Oh,
Lovely Meg Jackson, named Morris.
Oh, when it's showing her, Bella got stabbed by them kitchen scissors.
Oh dear me.
It was on episode 1 or something like that, wasn't it? Just got started and whoosh, grabbed you in it. You're the shining star.
And with Morag from Home and Away.
Yes.
Oh, Meg Morris has had a terrible time. She was in Prison Sublock H for its entirety, you know.
Oh, like Kambalo. You know the very first moment I met you,
I never felt such emotion.
So half of it was set in an hospital,
Yeah.
and the other half was set in the air. I'm walking on air, just to know, you are there.
Yeah.
In little planes.
Hold me in your heart.
All right, enough of that. You'll get wet.
Prison Sublock H played on Channel 5 in the 90s.
Yes, at 5 a.m. when I used to walk pickle.
I think you might be talking about Wentworth.
Oh, Wentworth, that's it.
They have the modern retelling of Cell Block H, or Wentworth.
Indeed, it was, wasn't it?
Yes. I think you're thinking of the Flying Doctors and the Young Doctors.
Oh.
Separate programmes from separate decades. And I do remember when I was younger, there was one late night ITV about a ladies' prison.
Oh, God, yeah. That should have won loads of awards. He used to give me roses. You know me, all my programmes merge into one.
Well, that's because you're mostly tanked when you're watching telly, isn't it?
You see, my favourite Australian soap most probably would be Country Practice.
Oh, did you like that?
Yes, it's very soft going. I wish he bloody would again. I was in prison once, you know.
You were?
Yeah, cleaning. It was for cleaning the local prison.
Oh, dear me, how was that?
Oh, it was good. Forever get wolf whistles, me.
Dear me.
Yeah, you're at home or in Cell Block H? Well, that was on the outside when things were different then. It's like a bloody prison in here sometimes. The storylines were gentle and a lovely theme tune.
Well, no, I think they weren't gentle in Australia. I think, of course, because it was on at 3:30, 3 p.m. over here, we had a sanitised version of Country
really?
Practice.
I didn't know that.
I think a lot of the racist storylines were cut out for us.
Sons and Richmond Hill. Wentworth Leisure Centre.
Would you like to go somewhere like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was in once about 2 years ago like that.
A leisure centre?
Well, a little like Wentworth.
A country neighbours?
Oh, what? Language. I remember the alcoholic pig.
You do half remind me of someone in Cell Block H, you know.
Oh, is it Mrs. Derbyson?
No, it's one of the little extras in the background who used to fold sheets and get involved in a bit of, you know, nonsense.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, I think you look very like her.
I'll show you what that chain fence. Talking about builder. Well, yeah, eh? Talking about knobs and door handles. And Lizzie Beardress was a Mad Max. My nana told me that.
Oh, he didn't tell me about that bit.
I don't show Ellen those until now.
Oh, it's so funny.
Lots of little memories coming in of all the Aussie soaps. Here she is remembering, I think, Julie Martin, who was Helen's granddaughter. I think she accused her Korean neighbours of eating bouncer at one point.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that. Harold was in the Salvation Army when he came back, when he'd fallen off a cliff and lost his memory. He came back as, like, Salvation Army Harold.
Oh, that was it, yeah. He came all goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
Nicola's let us know that when Daphne had her little baby Braden, she chose that name for her boy, Bray.
Bray!
Nicola and Braden are watching us tonight, so that's who he's named after.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. For those of you who want a bit of Kath and Kim, and my mum and dad, if you're still here, you want some Kath and Kim, we have loads of people here who don't want Kath and Kim. You want neighbours, so we have tried to do the best we can and give you a bit of both.
Leave me alone, you big fat bitch! Don't you call me fat pretty girl or I'll shave your legs with a brick. Oh, yeah? Well, I'll nail your head to the table and use it as a lazy Susan. Is that right? Well, I'll scrape your guts out and use you as a crock pot. Oh, well, I'll scrape your gizzards out and use them to knit a doily with. Oh, take that, you bitch! I'll be back before the next ad break. Get out of my way, Birdsworth!
Oh, shut up, you bloody... You're new here, aren't you, love? My name's Lizzie. What's yours?
Doreen, you know, I've been in the lockup all my life and this place is the worst of them all.
Oh, didn't you?
That is Kath and Kim from a show called Fast Forward. Loads of spoofs. There's loads of clips of Fast Forward on YouTube. So do look at them. So Gina Riley and Jane Clifton. I might know Jane. Oh, I forgot Jane. I've forgotten the name. Kath and Kim. The actresses Kath and Kim. Jane Turner. Jane Turner, who was
Look at me, look at me.
Jane Turner was in Prison Cell Block H as a blind prisoner. And was she? I don't know if she was really blind, but she rubbed toothpaste on Joan's shoe at one point, which led to one of my favourite lines, which I used to say a lot when I was at university, which was, "Oh, that's novel, Joan. I usually use boot polish." One of my little favourite megisms. And Caroline has reminded me about Button from Neighbours, who I think was Helen Daniels' great-granddaughter, maybe Julie Robinson's daughter.
Was that a nickname the dad used to give her?
Yeah, and her dad was Wayne from Sons and Daughters.
Yeah, but bald.
Yeah, I had a bit of a crush on him as well when he was in Neighbours, believe it or not in Sons and Daughters. Aljax Johnson has said, Aljax Johnson has mentioned Kerry from Neighbours came back as a different character and got off with Harold. Harold was like her dad, wasn't he?
I don't know.
But then when she came back, maybe... Europop Top has mentioned Wentworth, which, of course, if you haven't watched it yet, it's definitely worth watching.
I think one of the channels...
Most of it is on Amazon Prime.
And perhaps Channel 5 have it on?
Channel 5 have shown it, yeah, and they've just shown the last series, which we still haven't watched yet.
We sort of avoided it for years, thinking, it's not going to be a patch on the good old Cell Block H. We just started watching it about a year ago, but we haven't watched the last season, so no spoilers.
Loved it.
I thought it was amazing.
It's
with
great.
a wonderful Pamela Rabe.
Yeah, you have to kind of forget about Prisoner. It's nice to remember it and the characters and stuff, but you forget about it and just really invest in this.
It was great.
It's a really good drama show.
Really dramatic, really good acting. And the sets don't wobble.
Let's have a look at what else we've got to show you, because I don't want to leave you without things, because we're fast approaching the end.
James Brett has mentioned the fast-forward actresses doing the amazing Wilson Phillips.
Yeah,
I showed Jamie that the other night.
Just 2 nights ago we watched that. So funny.
The bit when she's trying to close her legs. She's trying to sort of shut your bloody legs.
Those Kath and Kim actresses are so good. Kath and Kim is such a good show. We have laughed ourselves silly with that, and then kind of not revisited it, have we, since sort of the early 2000s? So we must look at it again.
It's quite common to have a funny double act, but a triple act is quite rare, isn't it? I mean, all 3 of them are so funny.
Oh yeah, and they did a show called Big Girls Blouse as well, which is really funny.
Yeah, they just each one's got their own little part, and they're so bloody good at it.
Oh, and Sharon Strzelecki is so funny in
Mrs.
Kath and
D.
Kim. I haven't got a clip of Kath and Kim. What I have got a clip of is another show, which this blew our minds when we watched it. So funny. He hasn't, I think, repeated how successful this show was, but if we had to create a TV show, I think it would be something like this.
Welcome to Mr. G's room, welcome to Mr. G's room, come inside. Most of the time it's just chill out with beanbags, pillows, cushions, that sort of thing. And take your shoes off and find a spot on the floor. Teaching methods are fairly unique. Someone join in. I get pretty experimental and I go crazy sometimes. I just let loose. Oh, thank God you're here. I've been shot. Thank God you're here. Where have you been, bitch? Boring is not a word that you hear in this room.
Summer Heights High. What a great show that was. And his first show, We Should Be Heroes, as well. Really funny. Like I say, it's kind of character comedy with the same actors playing lots of characters. So kind of that crossed with League of Gentlemen, and you'd have the Isolation Creations TV show.
I really liked the other show he did where it was it called Millions People Like Us or something? Where he played the woman who used to roll.
That was We Can Be Heroes.
We Can Be Heroes. Pat Mullins.
Mullins, who was
used to roll, a champion roller.
But really funny, but he always treads a delicate line because he does blackface. He plays Chinese parts with kind of the Chinesey eyes. He treads a very delicate balance, and he's done Smouse, S-Mouse. He pushes boundaries, and I think he pushes the wrong boundaries. So I know we're at 9 o'clock and people are dropping out. So thank you for joining us. As it's Aussie Shapes, we're going to hang out and chat with you more. We've got loads to talk about. We haven't really even touched on Cell Block H properly. But yeah, thank you for being with us. It's 9 o'clock.
It's a subject that would go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you've not bought our calendar, before you go, buy the calendar. We are so proud of what we've created. So I'm going to put the link in to both chats. It's $12.99. Ships internationally. So let's put that in there. Oops, put one too many W's in.
That won't work. There we go.
There we go. We're going to hang out and chat more. So do hang out. Buy the calendar. We're really proud of it. And money goes to an anti-bullying charity. And it's anti-bullying week. So,
so no bullying.
It's a good week to do it, to buy it.
And I hope we're not bullying you to buy the calendar.
Yeah, we're bullying you into getting it. Let's have a look. So, back to Prisoner.
If you risk having a few drinks too many when you're driving, you could find yourself serving on the other side of the bar. Serving time, that is, behind steel bars. Drink driving. Think about it.
What's Lorna been up to?
Meg imprisoning Lorna there. We were obsessed with the extras in Cell Block H. We had names for all of them. We worked out like crimes that we thought they could have done.
And if ever they spoke, we'd have to sort of pause and rewind and like put the volume up.
Oh, we loved it. And there are some videos, and I don't know if Mark, there are any of your videos or people here have put them together, but there are videos of like when the extras had lines. So yeah, look those up. They're so funny. We were obsessed with Hazel. Hazel Henley, who played Tina Murray, and I think she might
wore
be
glasses
called,
like this with blonde permed hair.
She might be called Rita Murray as well. I think they changed her names a bit.
And then the one that looked like me, was she called
Mary
Vaughan.
Mary Vaughan, I think.
Brenda, Bev.
Oh, we were obsessed with them. There was kind of a young one that looked like a sort of knockoff Reb Keane.
Big Lil with a ponytail. Remember her?
There was Adler, Mary Adler.
Adler, who are you?
We loved it. So let us know who your favourite kind of random Cell Block H character was. You liked the woman with the bowl head who got locked in when Lassa fever broke out, didn't you?
Yeah, she'd say the miserable bastards. And then she played various. I think she also played with Wonky Warner's mother when it first sort of began. When Wonky Warner had to go back and work in the garden centre because they kept bringing the actresses back. And I think the one that played the social worker, Butchie, with the Butchie the cat, Lois Ramsey was the actress.
Yeah, she was in.
She was in about 5 times, I think.
A prisoner, yeah. Someone's mentioned poor Hazel. When we went on, I think it was our honeymoon actually. We were staying in a Greek hotel, and we were staying in like a self-catering bit of the hotel, but there was also a like hotel complex, and there was a bar with a swimming pool. One evening we were at the hotel bar, and there was a German woman who was really like a German woman in like her early 60s, was like very flirty but got really drunk, and she was flirting with the owner who was about in his 30s, quite a big heavy set Greek guy. Anyway, this Greek guy walked this drunk woman back to her apartment and sort of looked at us and went, I am taking her away, I will be back, and walked her away. And I said to Alan, I think he's doing a Judy Bryant on her. He's like Hazel Kenting her and euthanizing her,
putting her out of misery.
And he came back.
He went, she's sorted out, she is fine.
She is at rest now.
She's at rest now.
We were laughing our heads off.
Pissing ourselves. And then we went on one holiday to Thassos, and when you're in the sort of lounge waiting to fly, there was a woman who looked like Val Lehman.
Oh yeah, dead like Val Lehman.
In a mint-coloured outfit. And we were a little bit obsessed with her on holiday because we kept seeing her. Thinking, well, there's Val Lehman. We sort of gave her the name Val Lehman, didn't we?
We gave her the name Minty Lehman.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Minty Lehman. So we used to go on like Minty Lehman hunts. We did find her one day, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
We gave her fun nicknames on holiday. There was also a little lady that we called Brandy Butter, who used to wear a cardigan over her shoulders, but she'd have her little bare arms out.
And she used to have a metaxa every night to show off. She'd sit there. And the thing is, we'd see her and her husband every night having dinner, and we never saw them talk. They were just sort of back to back, you know. We've seen a lot, haven't we? A lot of couples go on holiday and they just don't talk
Oh,
to each other.
yeah. They just sit there in silence with each other, sort of looking
Nothing
at
to
the
say.
harbour. But Brandy Butter used to sit with her husband, and in this island, they'd always, like at a restaurant, they'd always bring you like a little bit of dessert to share, or a little glass of ouzo at the end of the meal, and it was always free. So you kind of after you'd been to one restaurant, you knew you were getting a free dessert.
Well, that's worth it. Free pudding.
And it would come and you'd put down. Anyway, Brandy Butter every night would feign surprise, wouldn't she? When it came over, what would she be like?
She'd be like, oh, shall we order dessert?
And they'd bring over a free dessert.
What's this?
Oh, it is free
Is it
on
for
the
us
house.
to share? Oh, thank you so much.
She'd go, no, we haven't ordered.
We haven't ordered this. Is it free? We eat this
every night. Brandy Butter.
Oh.
Nicola says her and Bray used to go to Turkey, but unfortunately he left his appendix there one year.
Bray, you lost your appendix in Turkey?
Wowzers.
That can't have been a great holiday for you, Bray.
Oh, Sue, we went on a lot of holidays to Greece. So we went to Kefalonia, Thassos.
We went to one place and we were walking around down the town, and there was like a hotel on the town road with a pool, so people like sunbathing on the street.
Oh yeah.
And there was an actress who looked like
an actress.
Holidaymaker who looked like Ida Clough from Coronation Street. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
And I said, my God, it's Ida Clough from Coronation Street.
You were sure it was her, wasn't
it?
you?
It wasn't, because I think the actress had already died.
Oh.
So we nicknamed her Helen Palmer, which was the name of the actress was Helen Palmer.
Helen Palmer.
We called Helen Palmer.
Yeah, we'd go and hunt Helen Palmer.
Oh, look, Helen Palmer's having a cocktail.
Remember what other people we had? There was a woman called Street Smart that we were a little bit obsessed with. And she looked a bit like Alan when he does his upside down smile. Do that.
And she used to walk. She used to walk about 2 meters in front of her husband.
Her husband was little and meek, and he'd kind of shuffle behind her, and she'd like march like a bit like Sweet Charity when she sings that song about trombones, and she sort of marches. I'm a brass band. Street Smart would march like that.
And then when they had dinner, you had to sit at a table of 2, and the seats are like together, but she'd turn her chair round to face the street.
Street Smart would always have to face the street, hence the name Street Smart. But yeah, she'd sort of rotate, and so sometimes her husband was sat eating his meal looking at her back.
He was eating his little, Briam, and she'd be like turned around looking at the street. They just didn't talk to each other. Isn't that weird?
We have some little messages coming in.
Oh, Mark Allen says favourite top dog.
Favourite unusual top dog.
Minnie Donovan.
Who's your favourite unusual top dog in Cell Block H? Mine was who was that sort of sassy woman who was a little bit posh quite early on? She didn't deserve to be top dog, but they gave it her. Oh, so you'll remember, Mark. Early on,
was she like a?
She was sassy. She was a bit of a socialite. She had money, but they made it her because she was kind and caring. I think I can't remember her name. You'll remember.
And she was a top dog.
Yeah. She became top dog for a little bit. She was rubbish. Mark, if you remember who that was, let me know. I'm going to look at the messages over here.
I mean, one of my favourite characters was...
I'm going to look them up.
Helen Masters?
I think it's Clara Goddard. Does Clara Goddard look a bit like Jenny Maitland? I'm looking up Clara Goddard now.
Oh, I remember. She wore a a little coffee-coloured suit.
It was Clara Goddard.
She top dog for 5 minutes.
She's my favourite unusual top dog. Didn't Lurch become a top dog as well for a bit? Rubbish Lurch.
About a minute. My favourite top dog was Nola Mackenzie. I know she was a baddie, but I thought she was. I
loved Nola Mackenzie.
I loved the whole coming from Woolloomooloo or whatever it was.
When we do, she come from Western Australia.
And at first she was Jean Carter.
When we do our long-awaited Cell Block H extravaganza epic, Alan's going to be both Jean Carter and Nola Mackenzie.
Again, it's all about holidays. But before we went to holiday one year, we lived in Deptford in London. There was a famous Deptford market, And I went round, and there, amongst the cabbages on this second-hand stall, was this wig. And you know what I'm like with wigs? And it was the same hairstyle as Jean Carter. When she keeps taking the wig off in the halfway house. And I said, Jamie, this is coming to Greece with us.
It did.
So
wig and teeth came to Greece.
So every so often I'd go on the balcony and dress as Jean Carter.
There are pictures of Alan in like Greek tavernas. When the owner would pop in to cook us moussaka, Alan would slip a little wig on her teeth and maybe a little necker.
One day we sat on the balcony. I was dressed as Jean Carter with my ouzo, and Maria Precker, who owned it, came outside pegging out her knickers. Looked at Jean Carter, went "Yamas." She didn't know it was me. She thought I was one of her guests. And Jean Carter went, "Yamas."
I think he thought Jean Carter was like a sort of a Germanic holiday maker.
Yeah.
Another holiday, there was a woman, when we used to go down for breakfast. God. There was a really grouchy German woman. We were staying there with her family. Again, looked a bit like Alan.
Really miserable.
Do her face. Do a resting face. So anyway, I was determined that I would get her to smile by the end of the holiday. So every morning, I'd kind of say a really warm good morning to her. Anyway, one day, I said Guten Morgen to her instead of good morning. I went Guten Morgen, and she slowly stripped her lashes into the most sort of horrible smile, and she said, Morgen.
Morgen.
Mark says he needs to have drinks and talk prisoner sons and daughters on holidays with us. Yeah, we need to have like an Isolation Creations live where we all get together in a pub and talk about all this stuff. Good morning, Robert from Sydney.
Robert Purchase from Sydney. We're talking about all the wonderful TV from your neck of the woods, my love.
Let's have a look. I've got some little messages coming over here from Phil Hodgson. Just a little over 30 years ago when he lived in Hull. Alan's from Eastall.
I'm from Hull.
Cell Block H was doing a tour around the UK with two different versions, of course, running at the same time, like every bit. Two of the original cast members were in it. At the time, I volunteered for a talking magazine for the blind, so I was lucky enough to be able to get an interview with Vera Bennett and Margot Gaffney. Starstruck like you couldn't believe.
See what your mums are in? Or your mum or your dad?
So I was doing... I was the other region to you, Phil. So I went to see the other one, which had Erica and Meg in it, and I queued and got their autograph on the Wentworth. You could buy the Wentworth Times, it was like a newspaper. My mum has reminded us, when we went on holiday with my mum and dad, they used to have a place in Spain down in Costa del Sol. We went to a restaurant with them. I think it was a fish restaurant. And me and Alan were like, again, people watching, slightly obsessed with a woman at the next table who had a bedazzled blouse on. So she had a kind of tight t-shirty blouse on, but it had like a bedazzled bit here, which we knew was gems stuck to her top. Anyway, my mum decides to make us laugh to go and talk to this woman, and to make us even laugh even more, goes and talks about a bedazzled top, and said, I think my mum said to her, "Oh, I like your necklace."
It's not a bloody necklace, it's actually stuck on.
And she bounced it off, ding, ding. And then what did she... Mum said, "Oh, the food's here nice, isn't it?" And she said,
he loves his bloody fish. If he eats any more fish, he'll be...
I think she actually said, "Oh, Daddy loves fish."
If Daddy eats more fish, he'll be...
One of those older women who calls her husband Daddy.
Yeah. And Daddy was just sat there like that with his little Spanish beer.
Cole has met Elspeth. So that's Meg Morris, Meg Jackson. Yeah, Meg was so James has said it, she was a legend on Prisoner, but so annoying in Neighbours. Do you remember in Neighbours she came in with that kind of long fringe?
Mm.
When we knew she was coming into Neighbours, me and my friends had a little sweepstake, I think I was at university, on what would be her first line in Neighbours, because we were obsessed with Cell Block H and especially Meg. And I decided that her first line was going to be, "Marco, Benito, what on earth is going on here?" It wasn't anything as fab as that.
Nicola said she was on holiday once and loads of yobs kept her up on a holiday, so she left them with a parting gift that involved bottled water. And they thought they were kind of giving them, what was in the water?
I hope you hadn't weed in it, Nicola. James Witt says, since getting a dog, his husband is daddy and he's papa.
Jason Rigby mentioned Mummy and Daddy from Coronation Street. When they're going, when they're going to have food with Vera and Jack?
I don't remember Kimberly.
Yeah, she used to work in the supermarket with Curly.
Oh, I don't remember.
And they have Mummy and Daddy come round, and Jack and Vera have to put it on Airs and Graces.
The other thing I wanted Meg to say was, Marco, what are you listening to? Why don't you put on some Kejagugu? Yeah, she had that kind of posh, like, I think it's a Western Australian accent, Perth, and it's kind of like what Prue and True do in Kath and Kim. So Meg doesn't have that much of that, but that kind of thing. Vaughan says, do a Crossroads piss tape. We've done Crossroads, Vaughan. Have a look on our videos. Isolation Creations Crossroads. We've also, Amy Turtle has popped up in our other videos as well. Adrian Pye is reminding us of that classic prisoner escape when Mari Winters escaped on a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, and a little...
She ran to the helicopter, jumped, and then they'd obviously just attached a kind of a blow-up doll or a mannequin to a helicopter. So this dead sort of body was hanging off it as it flew up into the air.
It had some weight, I think. I don't think it was a blow-up doll.
No, he says, it was clearly a dummy with a wig swinging in the breeze. I remember watching, when I was watching Cell Block H, it went on for such a long time, didn't it? I was doing a play. I was actually an actor doing a play in Bolton, and we were driving back from Bolton to Formby to Southport that night, and we were like race against time to get back to Southport to watch the Lou Kelly riot. So this is kind of late on in Cell Block H time, but we got held up in traffic, so we didn't know what to do, and it was about to start. So I got my friend Lara to pull over, and we went into a Chinese restaurant, Chinese takeaway, that had a telly, a traditional, had a little telly in the corner, and we got them to put Prison Cell Block H on, and we ordered like a special fried rice, and we sat there and watched it. So we stayed in this little Chinese restaurant till sort of after midnight.
With all the banging and clattering.
Yeah, watching the Lou Kelly riot on a little...
I mean, when they did the riots, they were proper like riots, weren't they?
Yeah. They were so good episodes. There were such good little...
Full-on storylines.
Moments. We had... the tunnel was kind of a classic.
Oh, when they're dressed as
episodes.
Panto characters.
Yeah, and I don't... Does Pat the Rat sit on the manhole cover so they can't get out?
Yeah.
And then there's an explosion or something and they get trapped in there.
Yeah. Speaking of prisoner sort of country fairs they used to have, do you remember the day when Myra escaped in that lovely green hat? And they go, "Excuse me," at the gate, and she goes, "Oh." And he turns around to her and goes, "Lovely hat."
It's so obviously just like an actress wearing bed sheets.
Well, it's
but
actually,
they think, oh, she's so glamorous. She's a bit like Rose from Titanic, isn't she?
I think it's actually made out of a coat hanger, isn't it?
Oh, it looks awful.
You know those little fairies that used to have like hats that were made out of petals?
Yeah.
It's like that, but made out of green fabric.
If anyone's quick on the old buttons, find a link to the picture of Myra wearing the hat and pop it in one of the chats.
One of the most best.
We've heard that it was a blow-up doll in Cell Block H. It was an inflatable. Mari Winter laughed about it in an interview and said that it was swinging so much. Sorry.
One of the best escapes I remember was when Bee escaped as the freak. Remember when she dyed her hair with shoe polish and somehow got hold of a warden's outfit and sort of just walked out of the gate and see you tomorrow, John.
Another game that we've played on holiday, Alan, as I've told you before, Alan makes me little like funny games and books when we go on holiday. One of my activities on holiday was a printed out set of
bald
B. Smith mugshots. Because do you remember when that kind of posh woman who B. Smith works for and cleans?
Well, B. Smith was called Connors, and her employee was sat by the pool
with a biro.
And what in fact I did make, Jamie, they weren't mugshots. They were actually newspaper clippings with a bald
Escapee
B. Smith, and Jamie had to then draw on various people,
various hairstyles,
and then we'd have to sort of stare at the pool and go, Connors?
Is that you? Charlie wins a prize for finding Myra Desmond
in a
the
little
big
green
hat.
fairy hat.
I read today, so I was looking at Prisoners Trivia. Myra wanted a pay rise and fought to get a pay rise, and they wouldn't give it her, so she
Is that
left.
why she got the...
Which is why she gets shot in another classic set of episodes, which is the Wentworth Siege.
Yeah.
And apparently the cost of filming all the siege cost more than it would have cost to pay her the extra money that she wanted.
Because that was a shocker, wasn't it?
Yeah, when she gets shot in...
Sorry for the spoiler.
Oh yeah, spoilers. We've already spoiled it. People have been asking. I'm drinking rhubarb and custard cider.
And I'm on... I don't know, all the letters are all mixed
I was
up.
on like a craft ale.
Called dry wheat moped or hoped or something. Drinking a moped.
People are mentioning when there was like crossovers. Not crossovers, but when actors would then go in other shows. And Marilyn from Home and Away went into
Emmerdale, I think. God, what a jump that is from...
And Richard Norton was in Brookside. I don't know who Richard Norton is. I'm going to look up Richard Norton to see if we can help you. Richard
And also,
Norton.
the other day, I didn't actually see her in it, but I saw that Sue Johnson was in Coronation Street as landlady of the Rovers with
with
Michelle
Cindy
Collins.
Beale. Oh, Richard Norton's past my time of Brookside or Home and Away. Don't recognise him. Played Ryan McLaughlin in Neighbours. Don't recognise him.
I mean, we don't watch Neighbours anymore, but are there any like stars from Neighbours in it now that were in it when we watched it back then?
Plain Jane, Clive Gibbons. I just mentioned them all.
What about
Melanie with the laugh.
I can't remember what name she played. Egbert.
Julie Egbert, yeah. Susan Kennedy.
The Kennedy's still in it?
Yeah. Bray said, "Have I had the toffee apple cider?" I think I have, Bray. Haven't I?
Yeah, you liked it, yeah.
Yeah. So Ryan McLaughlin was Dorothy's nephew. So I'm kind of remembering a little bit now. Dorothy Burke Mim.
Oh, and James Sheen said that Audrey Roberts was in Crossroads in the early days. I think we heard her sing a song the other day, didn't we?
Whom?
Audrey Roberts, Sue Nichols. You played me a song that she
Oh,
sang.
yeah.
That
She
was
sang
released.
a pop song. Yeah. Glenn has just come back into Neighbours. Do you remember Glenn? I thought he was a paraplegic.
Glenn.
I think he got paralysed, and I think I saw a picture of him walking across a bridge.
Oh, we recently saw what's his name? We watched him in Underbelly.
Underbelly.
The diver.
Oh yeah, Shane
Shane
Ramsey.
Yeah. Oh, he was looking old, wasn't he?
He was looking old, but he was wearing a little pair of white budgie smugglers.
That bit hadn't changed.
White Smitherwise for a swimwear.
And of course, who can forget Auntie Mim from Neighbours, who then became...
Dorothy Coles just mentioned she was Bev.
Yeah, Bev the Beast with a knit needle.
So again, I believe that Bev was meant to be kind of a long-running main character, but in the first few episodes, the writers realised she was far too frightening for Wentworth, so that's why they killed her off very quickly.
And they removed the Mr. Mangle episodes, didn't they? Which was the poisoner.
Yeah, there were a set of episodes of Prisoner where they were so closely based on a real-life case that they're kind of wiped from memory. They're the missing episodes. So the episode still exists, but there's huge chunks out of it missing.
Yeah.
Helen Daniels is embalmed, but no one's noticed. Helen Daniels, of course, was also Rosie in Sons and Daughters. Alan does a wicked Rosie in our Sons and Daughters spoof, if anyone remembers that.
I used to love how fat Rosie was so nice. He is so nice. But if anybody slagged off Wayne, don't you slag that little Wayne off. I love little Wayne. He's my little boy. I love that little boy.
Coral, you just wrote a little message and it disappeared. You retracted it.
Did you put a rude word in it?
No, I think she wrote who her name is based on, and we missed it.
Oh, did I get it right, Coral?
Damien Cahill, do you ever get dressed up and go out in the UK? Not in costume, not in fancy dress or acting costume character. No. we wouldn't. We'd be too scared, I think.
Would must get arrested or beaten up.
Yeah, if we went out with, if we had the camera and the lights and we went out with all the technical setup, we might do it. Like Divinity, we're kind of toying with taking Divinity out
on the road
and meeting some people around Scarborough and stuff. So we might have the cameras and stuff. Because if you've got the camera set up, then you feel a little bit safer. But we wouldn't just do it to go out in character. And we're not cross-dressers or anything like that. We're not.
We're not trannies.
We're not on the. We can't say that word.
That's all right.
But we're not. We're not on the non-binary spectrum or anything like that. We're both blokes. We just find it funny to do the characters. Let's see what else. So the Edna Pearson episodes are
was it,
on
Edna Pearson.
on YouTube, so you can look at those. Cindy McDuffie says you'd make a fantastic Dame Edna. Alan's been Dame Edna. There is a photo in our files, so have a look at Isolation Creations on Instagram.
And I also dressed as Dame Edna for the Give Us a Clue.
Yeah. So if you look at the Give Us a Clue, Cindy, give us Isolation Creations. Give Us a Clue. Dame Edna's one of the contestants on there. Come to Blackpool, nobody would notice. It's not that we just there's no kind of desire to go out all frocked up.
But the trouble is, I mean, we have a few outfits that look great, like 360 degrees, but some of our stuff's just like pinned to us. Like there's no back to it, or there's no bottoms.
Yeah, most of the time we're in jeans in the photos. That's why a lot of our stuff is.
And some of Jamie's stuff is like shirts tied upside down and pinned around the back, and some of the outfits I'm bare-arsed at the back. And the back of Divinity's wig, well, let's not go there.
Jason Darcy said we were both in the two Ronnies level when we do drag. Yeah, we don't want to do. We're not into contouring and hiding our eyebrows. And no bottoms.
Yeah.
You are funny. You should have your own show in the gay bars. We're thinking of doing drag bingo, so we're kind of working it out, writing it, thinking how to do it, and also Divinity. We're thinking of how to get Divinity doing a live show and how I can kind of fit into it. Not that I have to be in it, but Alan likes me there, don't you? For a bit of moral support.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it all on my own. Not dressed like that.
Phil Hodgson says you're actors, not drag queens. I think that's a reasonable way to describe us. Yeah, we are. Like the League of Gentlemen, we can play women and play funny versions of women, but we're not drag queens. We don't want to be. We're not serving fish, I think they call it in the drag world.
I mean, he's a bit like Dame Edna, really, isn't he? He's not a drag queen, but he's just a character, isn't he?
Yeah. We want people to know that we're blokes. I mean, hello, beard.
Oh, yeah. The beard, we keep forgetting about the beard, don't we?
Here we go. Charlie says that our style is proper British drag. Yeah, it's kind of panto drag, what we do.
Yeah, Sissinada drag, we call it. Or Benny Hill drag.
Rocky Weeble says, have we ever done Thora Heard? Yeah, so in our sketches we did a celebrity goggle box from 1984, and Alan Bennett and Thora Heard are one of the couples watching
1980s TV.
So we watched the Charles and Di wedding, I think. Did we watch that?
No.
We watched Torval and Dean. We watched an episode of 321. And we watched some of the news. Did we watch A Place to Call Home?
Is that an Australian drama? That's quite modern.
I don't remember.
It's in the 50s, recently, I think. Dick Henry drag. Yeah, you know us. You know us.
You get it, and we don't I genuinely, there's room for everyone in this world, and I don't want to feel like we're making fun of trans people at all. We're not. We're just doing it because we know it's funny. It's old school funny comedy. It's not like we're wanting to offend anyone. And if we did offend people, we'd have to just chat with them and let them know that it comes from a very warm place.
I mean, we're doing like rude, crass nuns for God's sake, aren't we?
Jason Rigby says, did we both dress up before we met, or was Alan first? Well, we're both actors, so we had a long kind of acting career. Not a long career.
My Les Dawson thing started when I was in university, and my friend had to do a dance piece in a part of the campus, and she decided to do the laundry. She said, I want to do a dance piece in the laundry. And so I said, I'll be in it, and I had to help her. And so she wanted us to be like washerwomen, folding, but it was like dance moves. And I said, we'll do all the Les Dawson thing. So I did all the sort of Les Dawson. That's how my Les Dawson started, really.
And Alan did stand-up comedy when I met when I met him, he was like doing stand-up gigs around London, and part of that was he did characters, so he was in character for that. But we were both actors, so we did a lot of dressing up.
Yeah, I mean, stand-up's quite easy when you're a character because you've got that character masked up to hide behind. I mean, I don't think I could do it as me, as Alan.
Like Mrs. Merton.
Yeah. I mean, if you're behind all that, it's
you can say the most offensive things.
And get away with it, and people laugh at you.
Timmy Alexis Carrington Ward, if she's still here, here she is.
Here she is.
That's kind of a character that he puts on, so he can say the most funny and offensive things to these celebrities that he interviews on his bed. But they're in on the joke because they know he's playing kind of a version of himself.
And like Sherry, she's thick as pig shit, and she might say some horrible, awful things, but she gets away with it because, people are laughing with her and at her. But that's the sort of, I think that's what works.
You were right about A Place to Call Home, set in the 50s.
I've seen clips of it on telly, but I've not seen it. I don't know whether these famous Aussie actresses are in that.
Aljax Johnson has mentioned that Meg's second husband, I think that's Bob Morris, used to say darling about 20 times an episode, so he might even beat Charlie. So you guys who put together the video, see if you can get Bob Morris versus Charlie Darling, just a whole clip of darling, 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 darling. Make my world.
We've not seen it, but wasn't the last episode of Sons and Daughters Charlie's wedding? She gets married?
We kind of stopped watching Sons and Daughters.
When they took it off YouTube.
When they took it off YouTube, yeah. So we were kind of 300 episodes in, I think. I was going to say something funny. Oh, do you remember on my first ever mobile phone, which had a camera, so you could take photos?
Yeah.
Do you remember what my little screenshot was?
Mary Ward?
No, it was Bob Morris's hand clutching a whiskey glass. And it was up against a framed photo of Meg Jackson, and he held it up and he went, "Congratulations." And I think he left her at that moment. But I had that as my little picture. And I used to say it to you a lot, didn't I? When you got a new job, I'd grab a whiskey glass and go, "Congratulations."
I think I had, on my phone, I had if I got a message, I had Dee Morrell say something from Sons and Daughters. Can you remember what it said? Did she say something like... about the will?
Alan has little clips on his phone that used to be like his message. Like when we turned on our computer, we used to have Jackie Stallone saying, what did she used to say when we turned on?
Well, it was Bridget going, "Want a tea? No, I'm too bored."
But I think that was when we turned it off.
Yeah.
I think it was Big Brother Can Something. Well, tell Big Brother he can kiss my ass. What do you think about that? But yeah, you did have Dee Morrell as your notification alert. I can't remember what she said. She might have said, "Give me the pills, Patricia."
It's something like that, yeah. Or something about the will.
What have you got now? It's quite funny what you have now.
It's
Francis Delatour.
From that historical drama, which is, "Beware, London town, Miss Shaw is coming to see you."
Miss Shaw is on her way, and it'll burst out of his phone.
Oh, I am daft.
What do I have on mine? What did I used to have to wake up to?
You had Carol Channing, didn't you?
I had Carol Channing. I can't remember what she said. "Everybody rise, rise." I know it was Elaine Strick.
Oh. "Jam tomorrow."
Cole Taylor. I think that's exactly what it was, Cole.
What? Try but lost count. No.
I bet that caused a bit of a hullabaloo.
That was it. I bet that caused a bit of a to-do.
It was.
I loved it when Dee Morrell was in Sons and Daughters, because obviously she was Mum Brooks in Sublime H. And the drama between her and Pat the Rat. "I want a grandson. You're not going to give me a grandson."
What do you know about my life?
She was only for about 3 weeks.
Andrew Gunn says, "I'm leaving everything in my will to Margaret Dunn."
Yeah. "To you I leave my portrait. You can sit and look at that."
Yeah, I think I had Carol Channing saying "raspberry" as my notification, but my wake-up alert was Elaine Strick singing just the words "Everyone Rise" on repeat.
Yeah.
Mark Hall says, "How have we not discussed the original Aussie docudrama Sylvania Waters? It was huge and no one knew if it was scripted."
God, streets, Laurie. One of these days I'll pack me bloody bags and I'm going out of here. Truly. right.
Sylvania Waters made Nolene and the Donahers internationally famous.
No wonder I drink.
She's 1 in a million. And everyday events in Nolene's family make compulsive viewing.
Basically, it's no different to the family up the street.
Life in this exclusive waterside suburb will never be the same. Sylvania Waters returns 8 o'clock Tuesday.
Now,
As if by magic.
I bet I'm the only person in the country who last Thursday was in Aldi shopping with Nolene's song playing on my iPad. No regrets.
Alan plays music in his ears really loud. He has his iPod turned up really loud, and you can hear it clearly. And he listens to things like No Regrets. The Mae West album.
The Mae West album, which I sent Jason a couple of songs yesterday, and perhaps the theme from Miss Marple.
Yeah, the Joan Hickson.
I have a remix of Julia Child, the chef.
Sons and Daughters.
Sons and Daughters. There's a great album on my iPod of the Sons and Daughters cast and the cast of A Country Practice singing songs. Yeah.
James Witt has mentioned Carol Channing in the Alice in Wonderland live movie. You know what she sings in that.
Jam tomorrow, jam today, but not jam yesterday. Or you'll have it jam yesterday, but you won't have it tomorrow. You might have it today.
Well, we used to live in a place called Broadstairs down in Kent. There was a weird guy who worked in the charity shop who he was just a bit odd. I think he was into like one of us or both of us, but he was a little bit odd.
It was me, I think.
But Alan met him out in Walking Peggy one evening, and this guy was talking to Alan, and Alan had playing in his ears the
Mae West from Sextet, the song with her and
Timothy
Dalton.
And all Mae West was saying, well, this guy would say things like,
"Oh, there's nowhere to go around here for a drink, you know."
And Mae West was saying,
"Whatever, whatever." And in my head was thinking, "Yeah, whatever." Crazy. My music collection is absolutely bonkers. Do any of you know of the Sons and Daughters album that they brought out?
Yeah, Captain Seiko over here's got that album.
Yeah, with Lorraine Desmond sings on it, and
someone sings Woollamaroo.
Oh,
I bloody love ya.
That's Cookie. Yeah.
Sylvania Waters is considered our very first reality show in 1992 from Oz.
I loved it. I fell in love with it, and then I went to university, and I went to a record shop, and Nolene's single that she brought out, No Regrets, was like 5p in the bargain bucket, and I bought that.
Alan lived in Wakefield, which is where, of course, legendary Jane MacDonald is from. So I'm surprised she didn't pick up that.
Imagine. I think there's a few of them in there, so she might have got one.
Alex, lovely Alex from Twitter, says he's addicted to your playlist and wants to know it. So we maybe should put together like a Isolation Creations playlist for you all, for your delectation.
I mean, I do listen to normal music, but I've just got some nuggets that I love theme tunes.
Let me see if I can play this. I don't know if this will play.
I'll happily shop to the theme to on the buses, or Please Sir, playing in my ear hole.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. I'm hoping you will. But this I found the other day. I've not played you this yet.
Love is a carousel, and when the music plays, you soon forget your lonely yesterdays. Suddenly someone smiles, and then you know so well that you are...
I'm hoping you could hear the music, otherwise it was just two kind of chubby, overweight guys in their late 40s.
Pretending they were stripping.
Pretending to dance.
So something to tell than expected.
But with words, with lyrics, how fabulous was that? There's a great show, there's a great Twitter account called What's on the Tapes. The guy who runs that has a radio show where he plays theme tunes. And you discover some really funny, odd theme tunes on there. And that was there. I don't think I've told him about Dana's lyrics to the Brookside theme yet.
Jason said he's listened to music of the test card while being at work.
Oh yeah, we used to have a great test card album, didn't we?
Yeah, like Muzak.
Yeah, you did hear the music. Phew. Tales of the Bleeding Obvious, someone called it there. MP. I'm going to take that off so you can see us a little bit better.
Oh, and I'd also love the music of the Two Ronnies. I've got an album of their songs. You know, with this sort of the famous, like the ladies' choir and yeah.
We used to have that on tape, didn't we? Did you then transfer it?
Oh, I hope so.
James says there's an Elaine Strict episode of Tales of the Unexpected.
There is. Oh, yeah. When her husband, he leaves his brain to an institution who puts it into like a computer, so it's just to sort of live with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he sort of didn't want her to drink or smoke, and but she's there smoking and drinking and watching the GGs on the box, gambling.
James Witt, have you not watched our Eldorado video? We recreated the Eldorado opening, like we gave it Dallas opening sequence.
Oh, and it's got the music, hasn't it?
And it's got the words. So it's and if Caroline, my best friend, I don't know if she's still here, but me and Caroline had it on CD single back when 93 or whatever, when she was at A-levels. I was back at home after university, and we used to sit on a rug and pretend we were flying over the Eldorado cast and like wave at people. I was almost 20 at this point.
I love that you sort of.
Well, she was 19.
I love that you're sort of flying over sort of Spain.
We were waving goodbye to the Eldorado cast. Oh look, there's Fizz.
I think there's Abduella.
Theme tunes. I'm seeing there was an Australian Young Doctors theme. Did it have words? I can see it just flying by. We'll have to have a look.
Yes, Anthony, I am. I'm now on the
on the Stella. Aldi Stella.
Aldi Stella.
Nicholas says Bray loves the rainbow background. Do you mean this?
Oh, I think the rainbow theme.
That's our wallpaper, Bray, but it is quite rainbowy.
Bray, if you look at a lot of our photos on Facebook, that's usually some of the background we used for some of them.
I don't think Bray will mind me saying this, but Bray is a young guy who watches us with his mother. He's autistic, but he's gay and he's in his late 20s, and he's loving the fact that, look how big-headed does this, but that we're like gay role models. But he's loving kind of hanging out with gay people because he's not experienced that much before. So Bray, you're in such a fun place here. So everyone, say hello to
Bray. And hopefully we're going to see Bray next year when the world's a better place and we can all have an ice cream on the beach.
Yeah. Karina has said number 96 was the first show to show boobies in Australia, the first soap opera to show boobies.
I think someone just asked me where I get my teeth from.
We've got on you. That's your answer. A question for you.
Some of my teeth are very old. I think the first pair. I think you got me. It's got them. I think as a present.
Billy Bob teeth.
Oh yeah, there are some of them are like 15 years old, and I have to keep getting them remodeled because my teeth are shifting. We went to the dentist this week, and I've got the all clear for another year.
She was in and out within like 10 minutes.
They're very gappy, though, my teeth, so there's not much going wrong with them.
I had to.
She's got trouble. This one.
We both said going to our dentist now is a bit like going to see hookers because you have to wait outside in kind of a seedy like waiting area, and then the person, the receptionist comes and says, "Come on in," but puts like KY on your hands.
What, load?
To like
lube.
Rub this lube in. And then she says to you,
"Would you like to go upstairs? Nicola's waiting for you.
Second door on the right, you'll be seeing Lucy today."
You'll see Lucy today. All right, darling? There
As
you
you're
go.
lubing up your hands.
Will you pay on the way out? No lunch.
Is that what she said?
No luncheon vouchers.
Alan paid for me as a special treat.
Don't pay the girl. I pay the girls.
Yeah, I've got to have an extraction.
And he's got to get her teeth removed.
I've got wonky wisdom teeth, so I've got to have an extraction.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm not going to end up with. There was a girl at. I don't know. There was a girl.
I hope she's not in watching.
I hope she won't be. We did Jesus Christ Superstar when I was about 18, and there was a girl. She played Mary Magdalene. She had a wisdom teeth, and her cheeks dropped, and she had gerbil like cheeks. Her whole face kind of dropped down. She had jowls. Yeah, that's the same show that we had to do. My drama director got all like arty and wanky, and if Erica's in, she'll like this. We had to do improvisation about being like Jesus's disciples and Jesus coming back, but she said, "Oh, Jesus is like a pop star, and you're like Jesus's groupies. So kind of he comes back, hang about, kind of be hippies, listen to some music." And everyone was kind of laying down going, "Hey, I'm having a spliff, brilliant time." Jesus walked in. There was an older woman trying to kind of join in. It was an Amdram production. She was called Diane. And he came in and everyone's like, "Hey, Jesus, good to see you. Jesus, how you doing?" And she went, "Hello, Jesus, cup of tea."
Cup of tea, Jesus.
Cup of tea, Jesus. We lolled.
What about the show you were in and you said, "What's his next scene going to be like?" And she went, "I don't know."
Oh, yeah, the director, we were doing Into the Woods. And we were coming up to the end of Act 1. And we said, "Are we going to block the end of Act 1?" And she went, "Oh, no, we'll do that tomorrow." And my friend Alison, a friend of ours that we used to live with in Broadstairs, kind of a friend of mine from school, she went, "Come on, Wendy, can we not just block it now?" And Wendy said, "I've not watched the video yet."
I'll be with you tomorrow.
So she was just watching the Broadway production of Into the Woods and then getting us to do exactly the same.
Andrew Chapman recognised the "Don't pay the girl, I pay the girl."
Personal services, a favourite of ours.
One of my favourite scenes is when she goes in and just whacks the bloke on the arse and goes, "That's for the bloody Inland Revenue." And then when she served them breakfast, she goes, "Yeah, like that, ain't you, eh? Fresh from a chicken's gonger."
What did we watch recently where she was spanking someone's arse and saying, "This is for..." Oh, Alma's Not Normal. Is anyone watching Alma's Not Normal on iPlayer? If you've not seen it yet, it's worth watching. It's a funny show. It's different. It's really different. It's a sitcom.
Oh, and the one who plays her nana, the woman who plays her nana is amazing in it. I don't know what the actress's name.
Oh yeah, who plays Alma's nana in Alma's Not Normal? She's married to the guy who played Gollum. It's what a random thing that is. You'll know her as soon as someone mentions her name.
She's so funny in it. I've never seen her do comedy before. But
Jason just said, "You've got a willy dolly."
Yeah. I know a bloody head. I know. Shut up. I love it on the phone when she goes, "She's a healthy girl." Oh no, she's gone to a health farm.
James Witt has worked with professional choreographers that just plagiarise YouTube videos. I'm trying to think of other funny little Amdrammy stories. With the woman who went, "Cup of tea, Jesus." When me and Alan were on holiday in Greece, in like the most remote place we've ever been to in Greece, we were on a little jetty and this boat was coming into the jetty and I went, "Oh, Alan, that's Cup of Tea, Jesus."
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
And Cup of Tea, Jesus was like on a flotilla of a flotilla of yachts going around Greece and just happened to be coming into the harbour at the same time that we were on this harbour.
We paid like
5 years later.
We paid like 300 quid for, all paid, not inclusive, but plane gets us there, coach gets us there, and this woman had like travelled on a boat in a flotilla.
Yeah, like Cup of Tea, Jesus, and she invited us onto her yacht. I think her yacht was called Cup of Tea, Jesus. And she invited us onto it. And we were like thinking, should we get some like Greek wine and some Greek pastries? And I said, "Oh no, don't. She'll have stuff. It'll be rude." Anyway, she had...
Sainsbury's coffee, Sainsbury's Swiss roll, a tin of beans.
I think she said Cup of Tea, Jesus, to Alan.
Yeah.
Cole Taylor says, "Can we dig out the El Dorado video so we can hear it and see all them characters again, please?"
It won't get pulled, will it?
Like, we'll do it, but we'll keep stopping it. Because... We get pulled for
Yeah, because El Dorado was on for a year, wasn't it? It was on for a year.
Let's see.
As was Albion Market, I think. As was Richmond Hill. I think I was talking to somebody about Richmond Hill the other day, and I think only that lasted a year.
It was over before it had begun, and often love can...
The Lockheads. So the Lockheads were meant to be like the Fowlers, kind of the sort of stalwart family of El Dorado, and she was quite famous, wasn't she? The actress who played her. She was like a 60s famous actress, like similar to Wendy Richard, I guess.
Yeah. And the guy who played us, Scottish husband, I think he died quite young.
Yeah, I don't know. They had a really ugly son, and they had a daughter in a wheelchair who was later in The Office.
Go that way. And I don't.
Most of making this video was looking for those little videos to be behind. You know, like in Dynasty, where there's champagne bottles popping and then Alexis appears. That was kind of the vibe we're going for. Olive King, what do you have to say about Olive?
Well, I had to look at her outfits, and she always had her blouses tucked into a skirt, and I thought it's going to look horrific on me. But I thought I've got to stick to it.
For those eagle-eyed amongst you, Suki Plongère, which was my shopping channel character that we did at the weekend, she's wearing that necklace.
And all that trouble I went to get her a pleated skirt.
And I don't blame you for your point of view.
Now these two are the Randy doctor. Well, he's a doctor, a retired doctor, and she was something quite high up. I don't know what she was, but when they first came into it, weren't they really Randy?
They were all about like having nookie,
like close a curtain,
OAP sex.
Let's have a shag pad.
And what we noticed about him was that he had really high-waisted trousers, which is why my cacks are pulled up so high.
And she always wanted to go out dancing.
And she had the first set of teeth, I think, for this video.
Yeah.
You wanted freedom, I wanted you. But when you go...
And Freddie was he?
Freddie was the gay character.
Was he like a tour guide? Not a tour guide, like a tour operator or something, or a...
He might have been. I'm not sure, but he was having an affair with the guy that then wrote to us. So we got the guy who played kind of the handsome young guy in it, who had kind of floppy hair and big eyebrows. He wrote to us after we'd done the video saying, Why wasn't I in it?
You forgot about me.
He said, I'm the most forgettable character from the most forgettable show. Why am I not in it?
We did consider him, but he was far too handsome, and we wanted Marcus in it. So it was him or Marcus, really, wasn't it?
You gotta tell me where you're going to. You gotta tell me where you're going to. So
Fizz was like the worst actress ever. She ends up, she's like the child bride of this character called Bunny, and the big reveal at the end of episode 1 is that Bunny's new wife is like a kid, a 16-year-old. Like, it wasn't dodgy, was it? It wasn't like in a dodgy way.
But she obviously didn't want to be married to him, did she?
She was like, this big, like, we found a new star. She was dreadful in it. Cole says, I think he was called Javier. Yeah, Javier. The guy who wrote to us. Lovely guy. We got a lovely email from him and about how funny it was. Because we know a lot of the Eldorado's cast saw this. I don't know if Fizz is still about or saw it. Let's start it again.
I can dream I'll see you once again. Oh, when you go away.
The two handyman.
The two handyman.
Handyman and handywoman of the I wouldn't say island. What is it? Resort.
Of the resort. If Mum's still watching, Mum, you might recognise some of the little backdrops are the Costa, the Fuengirola seafront. Kathy Pitkin. Cole Taylor says we need to find Kathy Pitkin, who played Fizz. Find out where she is. Yeah, it wasn't fair on her. She was such a young girl with no acting experience that they thrust into this show that was it 3 times a week? I mean, it was a lot of pressure for a young girl.
I wanna hear you say I'm with you, then I won't mind when you go.
You remind me of Maria from Neighbours there, because she was sort of Spanish with a little bob.
We wanted this gag of them being the something one, because it was how kind of like our memories work, and you go, oh yeah, do you remember the Spanish couple, or do you remember the German one? So that's why that's there. It's like him off of. It's that kind of same joke. We got it wrong as well. So I think we say the Dutch couple, and they weren't from Holland.
They were Norwegian or something.
We got roasted in the press.
fancy fella, was it?
Trish is, young fella. Again, this is the like weird thing. When you've got a young guy with an older woman, no one bothers. But when it's a young girl with an older man, everyone's in rage.
He messed her about, didn't he? He used to mess her about.
Karina says she worked at the BBC when coach loads full of El Dorado fans turned up to protest because it was being axed. Yeah, wow. It was because I didn't watch it then, but apparently it got really good by the end, didn't it?
Mark says he tried to visit the El Dorado set because it's still there, and you could bribe the security guards to get in. But nobody was there that day, so he just walked around the perimeter and had a great view of the complex.
All that glitters is never what it seems. Oh.
Marcus and Pilar, that big wig, which we've never been able to tame.
It's wild. It's as wild as their mosses.
It's like Alan's sort of Kathy from Wuthering Heights.
Eldorado's only golden.
Oh, it's early Tamsin.
That might be the first outing of that wig that has now become my favourite, and I wear it in the phone room as Brandy.
It's a lovely wig. That it's a shake and go one.
We loved the footage we found for the background there, which was lots of kind of angry housewives getting off a little plane.
And when you go away,
Look at that! How blatant is that with the?
We had Avocar, we had tulips. We thought they were Dutch. Apparently they're not.
They're Danish. Are they Danish?
They might be Danish. Yeah, we should have had bacon sizzling behind them, but we look very like them.
you gotta tell me where you're going to, so I can dream. I'll see what.
This is probably my favourite part Jamie played in this, because he just, I said, oh, the caftan's there, the tray of drinks is there, and then I turned around and there was Joy in all her glory.
And she's handing over, when you go to a little Spain bar and you get a couple of Spanish coffees and then some olives and peanuts come with it.
Is this free? Is this free?
For us, free. Yeah, there we go, Joy.
Once again, oh, when you go away, I wanna hear.
Not at all stereotypical in our Bratton tops with both wearing berets.
Say that I'm with you, and I won't mind when you go away.
So this was later on the day, because I got this thing when we're filming, if one of my characters got really lots of heavy makeup, they're the ones that get done at the end of the day. So the Polly was the last thing.
End of the day. The lights really changed.
And the light.
You see the sun's
this
really...
was like done in October, so the sun was about to disappear from the garden. So I'm trying to sort of get the last bit of light in the garden.
Chasing the sun.
So that's why half of me's in shadow, and my little noggin's in.
But we know that Polly Perkins, who played Trish, she's watched this and loved it. She loved it.
Apparently, she fell off a chair laughing.
Isabella, so the French lady, watched it, loved it. Yeah, lots of them have watched it. Pilar's watched it. Pilar, not Marcus, but Pilar.
'Cause Eldorado's only golden dream.
This we got completely wrong.
That was just our fun
That was
joke.
we've been naughty there, because we were sort of doing like a Les Dawson Nonna there, but and we got the name wrong as well, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I think she's called Abuela, not Abduela.
But she's a very sweet Spanish old lady.
Yeah, she's not like angry, like...
Get up! Yeah, bloody Aussies.
Alan did that to make me
donkey
laugh. And then we put the donkeys in the background and made it look like she lived in a shack. Bray is plucking up the courage to say hi. Bray, there's so many people here who are full of love for you, shouting out, hi, Bray. So, Bray, get your fingers on the keyboard or on the phone and say hello.
That's Bray, who was named after Daphne's baby Braden, who is a new member of our gang.
Bray's the guy that you've just all been saying hi to.
Yeah, and he's and he likes making homebrew, don't you, Bray?
Cindy McDuffie's just said, to be your neighbours, they must get a great giggle watching us being filmed. I don't think they do. They don't really like the ones at the back. There's like there's weird ones at the back over that way.
Guess they're watching.
And straight behind, we don't know who they are. The ones over that way are a bit...
Well, the ones at the back of us have only got little yards like Coronation Street.
We've got big
We've got gardens, so they're not really ever out in their yard unless they're pegging out.
There's one that way who like always coughs.
She's not well. She's not well, bless her.
Ooh, COVID
flying
about.
You can hear it.
Then there's one that way who sings on the toilet, doesn't he?
Oh yes, he does. Yeah. Sings songs. What's wrong with that?
No, look, James Witt says hello, lovely Bray. Anthony Berry says hello, Bray.
Bray, you got love in the room. You got love in the house.
Why did we put 2020 on the end? Because we filmed it in 2020, so it was.
We were dating them because we wanted to sort of
for our memories.
Because we wanted to sort of make lockdown a year to remember.
It was kind of to mark lockdown, and so when we're old men, we look back and go, oh, 2020, that was the year that everything shut down. But both our neighbours, our actual neighbours, are lovely. So we've got Sean on one side who works at the council for Peasholm Park, which is a beautiful park here, and we have Paul on the other side who
now has a bouncer dog.
Yeah, Paul's got a new dog bouncer.
So if ever we do neighbours again, we're going to borrow.
Paul's the guy that you can see in the back garden. His son's there and his daughter's round, and you can see them sort of through the fence. But they kind of don't know what we get up to and what we do.
They've seen me dressed as Yoda, and Jamie as Luke Skywalker. So they obviously know we're doing something back there.
Hey, Thomas Corrigan's in as well. Thomas.
Hi,
hello.
Thomas. Hello. Have you been in all evening? Or have you just dropped in?
No, I'm not sure. Thomas. Thomas has sent us emails. I know Thomas
has been in a couple of times.
Thomas, hello. Rocking Weeble says, I'm obviously Harold Meeker. Harold Meeker's from Rent a Ghost and was always like nebbing at the neighbours, checking them out. No, I'm not. I just...
We also have people get like really bad delivery people like Hermes. They go, oh, my Hermes. They don't just deliver my parcel. They poo on it and stamp on it, and we've got the most wonderful Hermes.
Oh yeah, right. Hermes delivery guy's lovely.
But the only thing is, they go, can I leave this for number 85 about 8 houses down? Can I leave this for number...
Because we're always in, because I work from home now and Alan's working from home, so yeah.
So he knows we're always in, so even if we've not got a parcel, knock on the door, won't he? Can I leave this for number 3?
Scott Wheatley says he met Bob Moran in the early 90s. So Scott, before you joined, Scott's in Australia, I think, before you came, I can't remember who it was, but many messages ago, someone's wedding celebrant was Bob Moran's wife, Kirsty, I can't remember, who played Weeping Willie in Neighbours, an actress.
Yeah.
You're Kirsty Childs? Kirsty Yates? No. She played an officer. She played
Officer Yates, and she played Weeping Willie.
So Bob Moran's wife. You'll know it.
A lot of people say they wish they were our neighbours.
Cindy McDuffie says to Bray, we just moved from a town in Ireland with the same name as you. The Irish spelling is Bre, B-R-E, Bray. Scott and Karina, who's watching on YouTube, is Patsy King's niece, step-niece. So Scott's just said Patsy King is a lovely person too. So Karina, another Patsy fan, another Erica fan. Jason says there's nothing worse than a bad case of Hermes.
Kirsty Child. Jason said Weeping Willie, call the doctor.
My lovely mum, who's most probably had to call my dad up from downstairs to show her how to send a comment on here, has just said Patricia Brake was the older actress in El Dorado.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of things.
So Patricia Brake played Gwen in El Dorado. I can just imagine my dad's had to trudge upstairs and show my mum how to press send on a message on Facebook.
Thomas says he's been in his bedroom all day and went for a coffee today.
Oh, lovely.
Nice to get out. I hope it was lovely weather where you are, Thomas.
Phil Hodgson, massive Patsy King fan. the character link between Patsy's governor and Googie Withers' governor from within these walls is very similar, kind of similar play. Does anyone remember in series 1 of Wentworth they had a really ridiculous Erica Davidson?
Oh yeah, it was like a sort of like
Like
she
a
was like
young,
Kim Tate.
sort of- yeah, like Kim Tate, but she was awful. And then they kind of teetered around her going to like some sex dungeon or something.
Yeah, they got.
It was dreadful. They obviously wrote her out because she was awful.
And then they brought in the magnificent Pamela Rabe.
Oh yeah, Pamela Rabe when she arrived as the Freak, I think series 2. Brilliant.
Oh, we were looking for country practice fodder before we did that, and then we found an episode where Pamela Rabe is in that. And then
practice.
Yeah, then on YouTube, all this Pamela Rabe stuff comes up. So she's got such a big following. Obviously, when she did the Wentworth drama.
There we go. Kirsty Child, and Kirsty was married to Bob Moran, Scott says.
So it's lovely to see all the sort of like Australian actresses and actors popping up in other things, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were talking about lovely Ada, Gwen Plum, and then we talked to somebody on here, I think it might be Cole Taylor, about Richmond Hill, which they tried to, which they tried to produce this lovely sort of swanky drama, and they brought in lots of characters from Sublock H, and I think the Freak was in it. Maggie Kirkpatrick was in it.
Yeah, Chrissy
Amanda
Latham
Muggleton was in it.
We didn't. Was it over? Was it on telly here? Was
Yeah,
Richmond
I
Hill
remember
on
seeing a few
ITV?
episodes with my mum, but I think Cole Taylor says it wasn't on very long. Then they stopped it. But Gwen Plum, who played Ada, was like an old sort of old farm lady.
We've got a little trailer for it. I don't know if I've got it on here.
Australia's great new family drama series is coming to 10. It's the story of real people, their lives, loves, the good times, and the bad. It's the place that opens the door on well-kept secrets that become the talk of the town. On hidden romances, honourable citizens and dishonourable husbands. Don't miss What Goes On at Richmond Hill, coming soon to 10.
They tried, didn't they?
Maybe we should recreate just that 30-second trailer, just so I can be Amanda Muggleton with that off-shoulder little top.
I was watching an interview today with Amanda Muggleton and Gwen Plum when they did the play Steaming. It's like a well-known, it's like a women's play where a group of women meet regularly as a sauna, and they were in it together on stage. And Amanda Muggleton said that the press got hold of it and said, "Oh, it's all the prison stars and get the kit off," and all that. And it's nothing like that at all. It was like a really well-written play. But yeah, it was lovely to see Gwen Plum being interviewed.
Phil is saying he'd love to see us doing Falcon's Crest. We don't know Falcon's Crest that much. But
Is that about the wine?
With
vineyards?
Alan as Jane Wyman's character. Falcon's Crest was the name of the nightclub in my hometown.
Is that about the wine vineyard, or is it? Yeah.
Falcon's Crest is a bit like kind of Dynasty Dallas.
About wine?
Not sure.
Simon?
Pamela Rabe was in Paradise Road, which was a kind of filmy version of Tenko.
All right. Oh, Tenko.
Scott Whitley. Scott, you've got like this wonderful kind of celebrity life. Donald Fisher's sister was my neighbour for nearly 40 years. So he'd often see Donald Fisher popping around with a cup of sugar like Sonia from Freshfields.
I remember reading Sheila Florence's book.
Yeah, it was all about a vineyard, you're right.
Yeah. Where she lived in, I can't remember what it's called, an area of Australia where the prostitutes used to hang about. Anyway, Sheila, who played Lizzie, would always have a pot of soup on the go.
Oh, for all the pros?
Yeah, she'd come in, all the prostitutes would come in and have a bowl of soup, have a bit of nourishment, have a chat, come in and let your hair down and everything. It was a lovely little bit, a bit of life there in that book.
Mark Baxter says Sheila Florence had a very posh accent. Nothing like the Lizzie that we all know and love.
Yeah.
King's Cross in Sydney, Karina says.
Yeah.
But Cole says it's St Kilda.
St Kilda.
It's all, there's so many prosy areas.
Is that near Luna Park?
Luna Park, where Joan took Shane.
For a burger.
We've got a Luna Park in Scarborough. It's nothing like that, but we often want to go and recreate Joan and Shane's afternoon, don't we, in Luna Park?
Get you in a little blonde bowl.
What I was reading today about Maggie Kay, I've not told you this, was Maggie Kirkpatrick was a stage actress. So when she got the part of Joan Ferguson, she was more used to theatre acting, and she didn't really know what she should do on screen, like when the other people are acting. So she wasn't reacting really to their acting much. Because on stage you sort of don't do much when other people are acting because
you're still
focused. But so she didn't want to steal focus, but she's still in shot. So she was going kind of blank and quite dead in the background and would stay very still, which added to like how scary her character was. And everyone loved it. And that's why the Ferguson is so kind of dead and still in the background. And then later on, when she got better at acting, screen acting, they started saying to her, Maggie, don't try and stay still in the background. Try and do Joan in the background. Don't do stuff. It's definitely St Kilda. A lot of St Kilda.
Yeah.
Bray is not going to talk tonight, which is cool. He's going to try next week. But he's really happy that we chatted to him. And
you're welcome, Bray. We're always here, Bray, every Wednesday. You know where we are, love.
Alrighty. It is now 10:10. You've all got work tomorrow. I worked today, so I've got tomorrow off. Like one day a week or whatever it is. No, but I've had work today. And Thomas, thank you for joining us as well. Thomas, you are always welcome as well. So do come along. Everyone is welcome on our evenings.
I'm not sure what next week's subject is. Can you remember what it is?
Next week's Giggle Box is
TV chefs?
Kids TV or TV chefs. Kids TV or cookery. I'm not sure which.
Well, it's either cookery or TV chefs. It's cookery or children's TI.
So we're going to do the hour with the clips and the Gogglebox families, and then we'll do the same hour afterwards where we just chill and chat and talk about our holidays and nonsense like that, because that's kind of fun. We actually enjoy doing that. Well, we enjoy the whole thing, but we love doing that a lot. Will we be doing a get-together after the COVID situation eases? We really should do, shouldn't we? We should all get together somewhere, but we'll be very selfish and say it should be Scarborough.
Oh, we'll just travel around the country and come and see you all.
Yeah, we do want to do like some kind of live thing. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but...
So we'll meet with the little chef on the motorway at 10:30. All right, darlings?
All right, my loves. We are going to go. We're going to revisit Aussie soaps. Obviously, let's do a whole Giggle Box about Cell Block H.
To be honest, I think it's going to just keep coming up every week. We always seem to come back to Aussie soaps, don't we? And as holidays.
We are... Thomas, you want us to do Chucklevision? One of the videos we're thinking of doing, so I'm not like the selected group that's in here, we're thinking of doing a 1980s version of Taskmaster. So I love Taskmaster. We're thinking of doing a 1980s version of the opening credits of Taskmaster with 1980s stars in it. And I think we might do the chuckles in that. So that might come up quite soon, actually.
We've got a lovely old friend called David, and he worked with the Chuckle Brothers, Thomas, and he said he had so much fun. So when the Chuckle Brothers used to do an episode, it all used to be filmed in one day. So they used to have everything done, all like written out. And our friend David said they were lovely men to work with. They were such fun, and they're very, very talented. And he had a wonderful day working with the Chuckle Brothers.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Scott says we remind him of the two Ronnies. We take that as a great compliment. We love the Ronnies, and it's not.
It's not just that, is it?
But it's not the first time.
It's the drag as well.
James says an 80s Taskmaster would be awesome. Yeah, it's just with like the opening credit sequence. I don't know. Grot bags might pop up. It might be just our favourite 80s characters. So I would want to. Maybe I'll do Elaine Page again, but. That's on the cards.
What I also loved about the old... Do you remember the old-fashioned, like, the two Ronnies in the 70s and 80s? And also things like Larry Grayson's TV programmes. Halfway through go, and here's Lulu. And there'd be like a song by Lulu.
We're obsessed with someone new that we've discovered. We're leaving. We've discovered someone called Kate Smith. If you've never discovered Kate Smith before...
She's an American singer.
Find her.
She's a cross between Divinity and Amy Turtle, right? So look at Kate Smith.
Find Kate Smith singing The Beatles with Cher and Tina Turner. your life will never be the same. In fact, I'm going to share that on our Facebook page.
And
a lovely shout out before we go to David Kerr. David, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching us. Right, we're going to go. We're going to go. Russell T. Davis was on Instagram this week talking about writing for Chucklevision. Al Jax Johnson saw Paul Chuckle in his local supermarket. He was standing right next to him in the vegetable aisle, and Al Jax said, "Oi, 2 meters, you," and moved him away.
Chucklevision.
Phil Hodgson. So all your messages are coming in. We're going to go, but Phil Hodgson says Grot Bags is from Bridgewater, which is near him.
Love Grot Bags.
Erica Ann Deacon is currently looking at Kate Smith singing with Cher and Tina Turner. You won't be disappointed.
One day I will be Kate Smith, don't worry.
Stop watching us. Go and watch Kate Smith singing with Cher and Tina Turner, and we will say good night. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Hello. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I seem to have run out of coffee.
You can be anything you want to be there.
You can see anything you want to see there.
There's excitement in the air for you and me there. Fancy free there. Take your family there, but you've got to be there.
Yeah.
You just got to be there. You'll feel free there. You'll be what you want to be. See what you want to see. 7 holes the key there. Be there. Got to be there.
Just you and me there. You just got to be there. Got to be there. Be there. The time is now. Be there.
You've got to be there.
Yeah.
You just got to be there. You'll feel free there. Be what you want to be. See what you want to see. There'll be you and me there. Be there.
Hello customers, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Pack up and piss off.